Um, um, what's happening? Um, what's cracking? How's everybody doing, man? Everybody hit the like button, man. Um, everybody hit that like button. Smash that like button. Shit. Um, what's cracking, man? I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, I'm live, man. This is not a premiere. This is not a premiere. Wow. Oh shit. Wow. Nothing you white folk, man. White folk, you can't do enough, man. This person said, we definitely need a black family guy on Fox. I feel like I fit every part. This person said it was called The Cleveland Show, and y'all didn't even watch. That's crazy, man. That's so crazy. That is so crazy. Begging, constantly begging. What was that? Uh, make $2 a second or $2 million a day. Damn. Damn. That's a tough question. That's $120 a minute. That's $1,200 every 10 minutes. That's $7,200. $7,200 an hour. Yeah, give me the 2 million. Give me the 2 million a day. I take the 2 million a day. Yeah.
R. Kelly is in jail because he didn't want to sell his masters to a certain music company. If he's wrong, he should do the time. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying he's only there because he broke the rules. Bill Cosby went to jail not for molesting white women, but him and his wife didn't want to let the second largest oil company in the world drill under their home for oil. These people are not going to jail for sex crimes. They're going to jail for standing their ground. Puffy might be guilty, but that ain't why Puffy in jail. Puffy in jail because, listen, you cannot be emotional and solve political problems. You cannot be emotional and solve, we get that from church. Church is all about emotion. You cannot liberate a people with emotion. Puffy may be guilty, and if he is, he should do the time. But that's not why he's there. Hugh Hefner did what Puffy did. He never went to jail. Puffy is in jail because he started a black first political party. Puffy is in jail because he sued one of the most powerful liquor companies in London. That's why Puffy's in jail. What the media does, because they know black people like to see black people fail, is they'll sell us this when the real agenda is that. I'm not.
God. Wow, Marissa Tomei is 60. Yikes. Where have the years gone? Where have the years gone? Marissa Tomei is 60. Yikes.
Seemingly is a weird one, so bear with me. But this picture of Sofia Vergara, seemingly normal, right? I think she's on America's Got Talent as a judge or whatever she does. On March 16th, I screenshot this from my phone. You can look at it on her Instagram. But what is that? That's not motion blur. I'm an editor. That's not motion blur. She looks a little weird, but whatever. We can look it over. But wait, it gets weirder. What is wrong with them? All these people right here. What is happening? Her. Why doesn't she have an eye? And if this is AI, why? Why would it be?
We're going to get to Daniel Penny in a minute, man.
Say, wait. They don't love you like I love you. Wait. They don't.
Wow. Eric Bieniemy got fired. Yikes. Man reflects on saving his son's life from fire in a burning building. Wow. Wow. God, dog. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, man. That man is an animal for this. That man is an animal for this. I love my son so much, Durkee O'Nash. But I still regret going back in that burning building to save you. I'm tired of putting lotion on 30 times a day and paying for pussy. God, dog. Jeez. Christ. Oh my God. He said even the thoughts in the 90s were modest. God, dog. Yeah, man, these were some good looking chicks in the 90s, man. Yeah, the 90s, man. What a time.
A few moments later. All right, man. That's enough, man. Let me
God. God, Jesus Christ. Damn, Sister Jean. Sister Jean is a G, man. She's still kicking, man. Shout out to Sister Jean, man. The hell with them, man.
Police are looking for a man who opened fire in the middle of the afternoon today, hitting two people at a DART station near Fair Park.
The shooting happened Tuesday. A surveillance photo shows the gunman holding a long gun. You see it there in the picture. People were in the area there with their children when the shooting happened. Fox 4's David Santandri spoke with a couple of witnesses and joins us now live. David.
Yeah, this was a shooting on a DART rail platform that happened in broad daylight, and that shooter is still on the run.
You hear like 10 pow, pow, 10 loud explosive shots that were definitely close by.
A brazen afternoon shooting on the platform of DART's MLK station near Fair Park Tuesday afternoon. It's where this mother, who does not want to show her face, was with her 3- and 5-year-old boys.
It was very scary because you don't know where the bullet's coming from and you see kids walking around. That's what did it for me.
2 people were shot and transported to a hospital. DART says this surveillance image that's been shared on social media is from one of its cameras and shows the suspect with a long gun.
I'm scared for the children.
Fox 4 spoke with a different mother. She does not want us to use her name, but says she saw the shooting. Gun.
I'm scared for the children.
Fox 4 spoke with a different mother. She does not want us to use her name, but says she saw the shooting while she was with her 4-month-old girl.
Like bullets started flying and you could see that junk grazing, so I hopped back on the train real fast and I saw somebody laying there.
DART has not released information about what led to the shooting or info on the suspect.
I mean, if you've seen some, be a witness, go ahead and step up. We really need more police protection.
DART.
You niggas is annoying. You got one old nigga talking about snitch and the other old nigga talking about we need more police. White folk is dizzy. Y'all making white folk dizzy. They don't know what the fuck to do. They like, what? No, Monday, no snitching. Fuck the police. Tuesday, we need witnesses and more police. Wednesday, no snitching. Fuck the police. Thursday, we need more police and people to snitch. Friday, fuck the police, no snitching. White folk is just like, what the fuck do these niggas want, man?
Or info on the suspect.
I mean, if you've seen some, be a witness, go ahead and step up. We really need more police protection.
DART data reported 2,355 Class A offenses throughout the past 12 months. That includes assault, drug, robbery, theft, and other offenses. That's an increase. DART's 2023 data revealed 1,995 offenses, and that was a 25% increase from 2022. Keep in mind, however, DART says ridership is increasing, and in 2023, it hired 100 transit security.
This nigga walking with a lean, man. He walking with a gangster lean.
And in 2023, it hired 100 transit security officers to assist DART police. So more crimes might be getting
Oh, he got a gun. Okay.
Reported or spotted.
There's no place that's safe.
For riders who witnessed Tuesday's shooting from the DART platform, it's a scary reminder to stay vigilant.
It definitely lets you know that people are like really trigger happy and they starting to get a little out of hand with it.
Yeah, man. People are starting to get out of hand with it, man. Yeah, man. Things have changed, man. People are starting to get a little out of hand with it.
The manhunt continues this morning for the suspect police say executed the CEO of the largest health insurance company on the streets of New York City yesterday.
New details are emerging today about that deadly shooting. Eric Wong live in the newsroom to bring us up to speed on this. Eric.
Well, good morning. We've learned that there were threats made against Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, before yesterday's shooting. New York police say shells found at the scene of the deadly shooting had words written on them. And we are also getting a better look at who police are looking for.
New this morning, NYPD releasing surveillance photos of the suspected gunman at a New York hostel without a mask. The clothing seems to match what is seen around 7 yesterday morning on surveillance video outside a Midtown Manhattan hotel. That's where police say the suspect saw United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, then walks out.
And look, all the time this white man was worried about getting accosted by a black person, man. That's what you get. I know you was thinking about, oh, Lord, I hope one of these niggas don't come up to me and try to rob me or some shit. And that's what you get, a goddamn glider shot you in your back.
From behind a car, takes aim, and opens fire, hitting Thompson several times before running away.
It has all the earmarks of an assassination.
Matthew Doherty runs a security firm and was a former Secret Service agent. He was a guest on the WGN Morning News. Thompson's wife told reporters her husband had received threats prior to the shooting. The gunman had a silencer on his weapon and was able to quickly fix a jam.
See, a Sun Man would have missed. She would have been dead. If this is a Sun Man, she would have been dead, man. You should have hoped it was a black person, man. Salute to Louis Barrow, man. Says, when was the last time you cold approached a glider queen or a sister? You seem like a Sun Man that cold approaches. I would probably say back in the 2000s, early 2000s, man. I ain't been cold approaching nobody, but yeah, I was a cold approacher, man. I was cold at cold approaching. Yeah, man. Some man would have shot these windows out, hit her, hit somebody down here, and you would have went to your meeting, man. It would have silenced, yo, with a silence on this dude. Like if this was a Sun Man right here with a silencer, this dude probably would have went to his meeting and not even know. He'd have probably went to the meeting and not even know nothing happened, man. They'd have been like, hey, John, did you hear about the shooting downstairs? He'd have been like, what shooting? And if she'd have been dead, somebody down here would have been dead. He'd have just kept walking through his meeting if that was a Sun Man, man. God damn, man.
In the gun.
Denial of benefits can really escalate a situation. I'm not implying that in this case until the facts come out, but it's very common.
Thompson was in New York from Minnesota for an investors conference. He was staying at a hotel not far from where he was shot.
We're reaching out to law enforcement in Minnesota, and we're also interviewing his co-workers and family members to see if there have been any specific threats against him in the past. As far as who was he in the hotel with, we're doing a search warrant in his hotel room right now. That might lead us, give us some more information.
This New York City driver saw the whole thing.
I hear a shot, and when I look around, I saw a guy with a gun, and he shot 3 times, and then he started running.
He says the suspect ran down an alley. That's where police say he hopped on a bike and rode to Central Park and disappeared. Police searched the park for any evidence.
There are almost 20,000 cameras in New York. They will be using facial recognition, tracing the bicycle, GPS, and it's a very robust system.
Police released several photos of the suspect, both before and after the shooting. Detectives are also taking a hard look at the shells left behind. The New York Post is reporting some of the casings had the words deny, depose, and defend engraved on them. Words not far off from a 2010 book bashing the insurance industry entitled Delay, Deny, Defend.
We will not rest until we identify and apprehend the shooter in this case.
We have also learned that Thompson was the focus of a DOJ probe looking into insider trading. Thompson sold $15 million worth of stock 2 weeks before it was announced United Healthcare is the target of an antitrust investigation. There is a $10,000 reward for information in this case. We're live in the newsroom. I'm Eric Rung, WGN News.
All right, Eric, thank you.
So, salute the Mayo Monkey, man. Mayo Monkey in the building, man. Shout out to Mayo Monkey.
CNN has just obtained new video that appears to show the gunman who killed the United Healthcare CEO yesterday. New York police confirmed they have seen this video as part of this investigation, showing someone riding a bike around 7 a.m. yesterday. This video is from after the shooting outside the Manhattan Hotel. It marks the latest in the day that we saw the suspect. Today, we've also learned about even more new evidence in the case, including a smudged fingerprint recovered from a water bottle left at the shooting scene. This hour, we've got a number of experts and analysts with unique insights into this investigation, including a former NYPD detective, to explain what is happening behind the scenes right now. I'm also going to be joined by the New York City Councilman who represents the Manhattan Borough and the former chief security officer of Boeing, who joined an emergency call with dozens of other security officials in the wake of this attack. All of that in moments. We're going to start, however, with CNN's Omar Jimenez, who's live for us in New York. And Omar, several clues have popped up today, from new evidence to surveillance footage along the route that the suspect took. What are you hearing from NYPD officials about the pace of this investigation and the new evidence?
Yeah, so at this point, the pace seems to be going steadily. We heard that from New York Mayor Eric Adams, but also that these are all pieces that investigators are trying to put together. One, to figure out who this person is on top of where this person might be. And as you were just talking about, we did get new video today showing the latest in the morning of the shooting that the suspect was seen. This is on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, about 30 blocks north from where I am right now. The suspect is seen riding a bike, and law enforcement has seen this video, and they tell CNN they do believe this is likely the gunman. That direction is also north with a route that could take you through Central Park, which is where law enforcement say that this suspect was seen fleeing toward. We also learned today that they searched a hostel on the Upper West Side, which is where they believe the suspect was staying prior to this shooting. And then they released new images unmasked of a person of interest that they say they want for questioning. Note that they did not use the word suspect in the images that were released of the unmasked person. But again, a person of interest they say they want for questioning. And again, all of this comes.
Yeah, come on in for questioning, man. We just want to talk to you, man.
As law enforcement is trying to figure out, again, who this person is and where this person is. Now, for perspective, this happened Wednesday morning here outside the Hilton Hotel behind me. And when this suspect fled the scene, he was seen on camera prior to this at a coffee shop nearby. And then, of course,
today's Thursday, right? Today's Friday. Today is Friday, right? I think today is Friday right now. Salute to Hot Black, man. See, I got 5 on it. Shout out to Roger Wood. He said, I'll get in on this.
Of course, on camera during the shooting, police found a water bottle left over and a cell phone as well. They're trying to get into the cell phone, but also on the water bottle, they did find a fingerprint, but law enforcement officials tell CNN that there was a smudge on that bottle, which may make it a little bit difficult for that evidence to be conclusive, I should say. So these are all sort of the pieces that they are trying to put together to try and, again, get a clearer picture of who this person is, much less where this person is. But of course, every day that goes on, the mystery grows as well.
Now, this dude might be black, man. He left a cell phone at the scene. That might be a mulatto, man. How the fuck you leave a cell phone at the scene, man?
Difficult for that evidence to be conclusive, I should say. So these are all sort of the pieces that they are trying to put together to try and, again, get a clearer picture of who this person is, much less where this person.
So we're going to get a bunch of shit where they just going to tell us some obvious shit. That's how they do. They're going to bring in a bunch of experts and they're going to tell us some obvious shit like, yeah, man, this was a terrible thing, man. Let's see. Let's see.
This is breaking news.
Good Thursday afternoon. I'm Josh Robertson. We start with breaking news. We now know the identity of the juvenile suspect who was killed in an attempted armed robbery. We have Kelsey Davis joining us in the newsroom with those new details. Kelsey.
Josh, the Orleans Parish Coroner's Office has identified that juvenile as 16-year-old Cecil Baptiste. The armed robbery happened Tuesday evening at Sam's Meat Market. The video from the surveillance inside the store, it shows the armed suspects apparently holding the 2 workers at gunpoint, taking money and items from the store. One worker grabs the gun when the suspect looks away, shooting 18-year-old Tione Juarez once in Baptiste.
These some black Latinos, man. Tione Juarez, what the fuck? That hand is black. That's a black hand. God dang.
Once in Baptiste multiple times. The worker later walks out of the frame and then comes back to shoot one of the suspects who's on the ground 2 more times. One of the store's managers.
Wow, he executed one of the kids. That's going to be a problem for him, man. That's going to be a problem if he stood over the kid that was on the ground and killed him.
18-year-old Tione Juarez once in Baptiste multiple times. The worker later walks out of the frame and then comes back to shoot one of the suspects who's on the ground 2 more times. One of the store's managers says situations like these are why workers carry weapons.
For our safety, protecting ourselves. That's why what has happened has just happened.
That's crazy. I'm sorry that happened to him, I'm sorry he made that decision to go and try to rob that place and got killed.
New Orleans.
Yo, sisters are batting 1,000 when it comes to stupid shit.
That's crazy. I'm sorry that happened to him, I'm sorry he made that decision to go and try to rob that place and got killed.
New Orleans police say the worker is not facing any charges. Tione Juarez, meantime, appeared in front of a magistrate court yesterday, and he's scheduled to return to court in February. He's facing 4 felony charges, but investigators say additional charges could come later. Josh, back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you very much.
Damn, Habib, man. Habib wasn't playing, man. Habib let that thing spark, man. Habib let that thing go, man. Boom, boom.
We have new exclusive video tonight of the first few seconds of the killer making his run for freedom. 17's Rob Hagan shows you what happened when Cesar Hernandez escaped from custody 4 days ago.
New video shows escaped inmate Cesar Hernandez run across this field with the CDC officer in pursuit far behind. Join me as we trace the steps of a killer on the run here on day 4.
Look at this video.
It shows the shocking first few seconds of the desperate escape of Delano inmate Cesar Hernandez as he sprints across a field with a CDC officer in pursuit. It appears his hands aren't cuffed and his feet aren't shackled. But we don't know because CDCR is refusing to answer all questions. The officer raises his weapon but lowers it when Hernandez gets to the alleyway. Here's a closer look. Hernandez is half a football field in front of the officer during the foot chase. Hernandez turns back to look at his pursuer. You could see the officer raise his weapon, then you could see him lower it. We still don't know if it's a gun or a taser. California Penal Code 835A states a peace officer may use deadly force to prevent the escape of a dangerous person. This means a peace officer is justified in using deadly force to apprehend a fleeing person for any felony that threatened or resulted in death. It's still unclear why the officer did not pull the trigger because Hernandez is a convicted killer. Here's how inmates are transferred into the Delano Superior Court building. You can see the inmate's hands are cuffed and his feet are shackled as two officers walk him through the CDCR court entrance. We still don't know if the gate was open when Hernandez escaped or if he hopped the fence. There's a concrete wall on the inside of the inmate transfer parking lot that Hernandez might have used as a step to jump the fence. The step cuts the height of the fence in half. Hernandez fled down Kensington Street across the field in front of City Hall and then southbound through the alley towards 10th Street. It's unclear what happened next because the CDCR isn't talking. Delano schools were put on lockdown Monday and Tuesday, and school was canceled Wednesday and Thursday. We've asked the CDCR, how did Hernandez escape? Is he still in the area? Does he have associates in the area? Was he handcuffed? Was he shackled? What is the inmate transfer protocol? The CDCR issued a statement Thursday stating investigators have determined Hernandez fled the area and the security risk around Delano has diminished. Rob Hagan, 17 News.
Dude, that is so embarrassing, man.
In total, 11.
That is so embarrassing, man. That is embarrassing. Jeez. Let me drop the link, man. Make sure you take the $5 channel. Support the channel, guys, man. Support the channel, man. Support the damn channel, man. Let me drop the link, man. And hit the like button, man. Hit the like button, man. Smash the like button, man. Trying to get 200 likes, man. 200 likes, man. That ain't too much to ask for, man. And subscribe if you're new, man. If you're new, subscribe to the channel, man. Subscribe to the channel, man, if you're new. God, dog. A lot going on, man. A lot going on out here in these streets, man. Let me tell you, man. Let me tell you. What's happening, man?
What's that?
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm hanging, man.
Anybody who's ever had to deal with an insurance company on an important issue like denial of coverage is smiling today.
Well, Blue Cross Blue Shield just announced that they were deciding to roll back their plans to not cover anesthesia during surgeries if it exceeded a certain time limit. These guys are fucking out of their minds, dude. But maybe this will wake them up.
Yep. I fully support that guy. And that is a true sociopath. That is a true sociopath. He is number 2 on my favorite sociopath list, right under the Killdozer guy.
Who's Killdozer?
Sounds familiar.
The guy who wrecked that entire town in Colorado with the armored bulldozer
No.
back in the 80s.
I mean, listen, man. That guy did that guy's life mattered, man. Why kill that one guy? That guy isn't responsible for the way insurance companies do things.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is, sir.
Scumbag, honestly.
Yes, he is, sir. If you look at the denial rates from United Healthcare after he became CEO, they tripled. That's how he made money.
They
For
do the
the
most
stockholders.
denials of any insurance company in the country.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep. And dude,
Wow.
you take he is a father, son, husband of someone who was denied care and died. That was no professional hit, sir. Professionals don't shoot people in the calf to get them to stop so they can walk up to them and say words.
Yeah, no doubt. And they don't write stuff on the bullets and leave evidence and shit. Leave
Exactly.
on the scene. Yeah, no, I don't think it was a professional hit at all. I agree with that.
No, that was 100% personal, but it was done very professionally. He was proficient with a firearm. When he had a jam, he cleared it. He didn't try and it didn't surprise him. He just went ahead and cleared it. He is highly trained.
Yeah. It was just like a regular glider dude that was trying not to get caught and shit.
Had enough, man.
Yeah.
Had enough of these people. And right now he is
Total,
sleeping
11
the
people.
sleep of the. He is sleeping.
He's
a
not
restful
sleeping
sleep.
well tonight. Mayo, he's not
yes,
sleeping
sir.
well.
No, sir. He is a true sociopath. He is sleeping just like these hood dudes sleep.
No, what I'm saying is like he's on the run. Like they're on his bumper, man. Have you ever?
That wasn't him riding around New York in that bike.
That was
Because you know what
definitely
he had in that backpack, sir? A change of
What?
clothes.
Yeah,
I
that
guarantee
was-
he had a change of clothes in that backpack. As soon as he went into that park, he changed clothes, walked out the other side in a 3-piece suit.
Oh shit, we're gonna get back to that later
In
on.
total, 11 people have been arrested. They're facing a total of 57 charges, including attempted murder and gun possession. Prosecutors say they tried to kill rival gang members as part of an ongoing turf war, leading to unnecessary violence in their communities.
All right, Fox 5's Lisa Evers had a front row seat to this case and joins us now. Lisa, tell us about what you saw.
Well, Steve and Natasha, we got an exclusive look inside the NYPD's takedown of a violent Queens gang that police say terrorized people living in Southeast Queens with reckless drive-by shootings and running gun battles in residential neighborhoods. And they say the gang leader of the A-Train moving Crips was actually a 33-year-old man who started training teens as young as 14, training them how to pull the trigger and who to shoot.
Making this right on 104.5. Copy. Oh, we in contact.
Future violence interrupter.
We were embedded with the NYPD's Gun Violence Suppression Division and supporting units as they implemented Operation Deadliest Catch. It took them months of investigations and thousands of hours to get to this moment. Their goal? Take shooting suspects they say are the worst of the worst off the streets.
Their recklessness, the fact that they'll go out there, they'll shoot up a house, they'll shoot up a bus, they don't care who's around. We know bullets have no names, and they have no regard for human life.
The police are asking us to put on these bulletproof vests because many of the suspects that they're about to take down today are wanted for violent gun offenses. Before we hit the streets, Assistant NYPD Chief Jason Savino addresses officers from the Gun Violence Suppression Division and supporting squads, including warrants and the 113th Detective Squad, reminding them of the incident in the surveillance video. 2 cars roll up to a house, park, and then they jump out shooting with an entire family asleep inside.
2 cars, 4
Shooting and
guns,
sagging.
riddle that house with bullets, with children sleeping inside. Think about that for a second, right? Those 4 guns
come back to an additional 17 shootings.
At this undisclosed location, the police get their assignments, which will take them to various locations in Queens. Since the start of the Gun Violence Suppression Division in 2021, police say there's been double-digit declines in both the number of shooting incidents and the number of shooting victims in.
Wow, what do you know, man? Taking the
who could've
fucking
told?
shooters off the street.
I'm worried though, because I've noticed a significant pattern among all the people that they arrested there. And Memphis is about to get under a consent decree right now. Did you hear that?
I thought they was already under the consent decree.
I don't think so, but now they're talking about it, and all the stories I saw, they were specifically saying because of a discrimination against blacks.
Yo,
like, what can you even fucking say? I mean, yeah, there's a couple of things you can say, but none of it will hit or land.
Yeah, you get the government that you vote for, and Memphis is getting it.
I mean, it's just like everybody knows, like in any city, who's doing it, but in Memphis, it's like
no possible question about who's doing it.
Jesus Christ.
New York City.
From here, you guys are just going to go straight to your individual hits.
So the detectives have their files and they have their assignments, and now they're going to pick up the suspects. The case subjects are 11 members of the 8-Tray Moving Crips gang. Queens DA the Cats, who has made
all a bunch of goddamn sun turds, man. These are Crips, so these are probably West Indians. A lot of Crips are descendants of West Indians, and the Bloods are a lot of like ADOS or FBA, whatever. Wow.
A couple of Isaiahs.
Wily Negroes, man.
The 8-Tray Moving Crips gang. Queens DA Melinda Katz, who has made working with police to get guns off the streets and bring down gun violence
washed her hair
a
before
top
the news
priority, says those gang members found guilty will pay for their crimes.
The 57-count indictment charging 11 defendants with conspiracy to commit murder, attempted assault, reckless endangerment, and the criminal possession of a weapon.
Me and my if he's talking no bro, we gonna send him.
Two of those indicted are aspiring drill rappers Amir Harris, who goes by Mir EBK. EBK stands for Everybody's Killer. His rapping partner is Seth Johnson, who goes by Sab G. While many drill rappers are successful artists and not involved in crime, some are, says Captain Ryan Gillis.
That's not getting no strike on YouTube.
No, if they're actual drill rappers, they're definitely involved in crime.
Exactly. What the fuck is that, man?
Yeah.
You think?
Legally,
that's why they're drill rappers and not just rappers.
Judging by this video, they may be involved in some crimes.
Yeah, just because they're like 5'6" and weigh like $140 soaking wet doesn't mean that they're not fucking.
Short ones are the most dangerous.
Artists and not involved in crime. Some are, says Captain Ryan Gillis. He says they use their lyrics to inflame their rivals, called ops.
So the drill rap connection seems to always be a common theme in these investigations. Some people have more clout or more noteworthiness than others, but there's always a few members of the crew that take pride and like to antagonize the other opposition gangs.
Right now, we're part of a stack of police vehicles heading onto the Grand Central Parkway to the first location. We have an exclusive look with the detectives as they are taking us into the neighborhoods in Southeast Queens that they say were terrorized by these shooters. Officers go into this house and surround the yard to make sure the suspect does not escape. They put their lives on the line to give this community and the people living here the safety they deserve. The officers from the Gun Violence Suppression Division, along with officers and detectives from the Warrant Squad, just went into this house right here to try and bring out one of the suspects. We just got word that one of the main suspects has been taken into custody, so we're going to the 111th precinct right now. One by one, the suspects are brought in to be booked on serious felony charges, ranging from weapons possession to attempted murder. Mr. Tanis, police say that you gave young teenagers guns. Is that true? So this is where all the suspects are being taken in here, right?
Yeah, we're bringing all the suspects here subsequently to the investigation.
And then what about this case troubles you the most?
We have a 33-year-old individual that's essentially orchestrating these shootings. He's recruiting younger individuals, younger impressionable individuals at that. And what is he doing? Putting guns in their hands and telling them where to shoot and who to shoot.
The shooting incidents in this case occurred from March of 2021 through December of 2022.
We allege that the main goal of this violence, is a turf war.
Now, police tell us that they are not after gang members themselves, but just a small percentage of gang members who are actually shooters. Now, if the defendants in the case are found guilty, they're looking at anywhere from 3 years to 25 years to life.
Yeah, get all of them. Yeah,
because they're just going to become shooters.
Exactly. Exactly.
They all just got promoted.
Mark's in the back.
Exactly. Salute to Lewis, man. Lewis says, "Let the truth be heard. God bless our nation." Shout out to Pamela Henderson. Yeah. They gotta say, Stacey, I say some woke shit. New York is just a fucking terrible.
Themselves, but just a small percentage of gang members who are actually shooters. Now, if the defendants in this case are found guilty, they're looking at anywhere from 3 years to 25 years to life behind bars.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing thinking that people just trying to live their lives in the house next door to all this madness. Right. Obviously, they're thrilled to see these arrests taking place, right?
Absolutely. And these are communities where there's a lot of hardworking families. They're homeowners. They have multiple generations of the family in the home, and it makes all the difference in the world. You just walk out your door, and there they were shooting and jumping out of cars.
And I think it's interesting too that police tell you that they're not out to arrest gang members, but those who are actually pulling the trigger.
No, absolutely, because you remember like 7 or 8 years ago, there was a big gang bust that we covered on Fox 5 Live, actually on Good Day. It was over 100 gang members, but a lot of those charges don't stick. It's basically let's catch and see what we get. This is the exact opposite. It's like precision policing plus. Yeah. They know who they're going for. They have all of the forensic evidence. They have all of this surveillance videos, all of these things to build these cases which stick, and they're getting a high conviction rate.
Wow, well,
high conviction rate. That's good.
Like the court,
we have some breaking developments on a major crime bust, right?
Yeah, it never. Go ahead.
I was just, it really hits at the fundamental aspect of the violence here that takes place in these communities. The motivation behind it is recreational, essentially. Drill music is just fucking with these dudes because it's fun.
Yeah, and it's not like building a drug empire. It's not like about
nothing even criminally constructive behind it.
No, nothing.
Hell no. It's
laser
just
tag.
Trading insults on social media.
Yeah, it's basically literally paintball with real bullets.
Right.
These just and these guys are fucking morons. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these guys are fucking like they get a lot of credit, a curve because they're black and you can't really tell the truth about them. But most of these guys are fucking like morons and psychopaths. We're not talking about nothing being lost. Like, nothing's being lost here for these guys going and doing some time. That's the part about it. Like, if you get one of these guys 40 years, like, the community hasn't lost a thing.
We have some breaking developments on a major crime bust right here in Cleveland. A violent gang has been brought down after a massive operation by local, state, and federal law enforcement.
Gabby Hart joins us from the neighborhood where it all started.
So now Cleveland.
Yeah, we're talking RICO, racketeering charges that involve murder, sexual assault, kidnapping, and drug distribution. Authorities say it originated and happened right here in Cleveland's Cedars Central neighborhood. They even say drugs were sold right here in this very vicinity, like an open air market. They also told us that the alleged kingpin of this gang called himself the Godfather. 18 members of the fully blooded felons gang indicted.
Active in Northeast Ohio for over a decade and had a significant presence in Cleveland, particularly in the Cedar Central neighborhood.
The gang started as a branch of another gang known as the Heartless Felons. Authorities say they've been flooding our streets with fentanyl, meth, and other deadly drugs. And that's not all.
The fully blooded felons resorted to the worst kinds of violent acts, including murder, kidnapping, assault, and robbery.
Leading this reign of terror, the alleged kingpin, Raven Mullins, who officials say referred to himself as the Godfather. He allegedly established a strict hierarchy within the gang, complete with rules, fines, and brutal punishments for anyone who disobeyed.
FBF held meetings to discuss gang business and were required to abide by Amaretta, meaning a code of silence.
The criminal enterprise even extended into the Ohio prison system, where they attempted to smuggle
drug-soaked paper and other contraband,
stash houses, torture, guns, and drugs. This organized crime ring has been operating right under our noses. It sounds like something straight out of a movie.
They were modeling themselves and using the kind of terms, as you put it, that you would see in a movie or have seen in movies, and certainly that are associated with criminal syndicate and crime families historically.
But just like in those movies, their empire has come crashing down. RICO laws let prosecutors go after the whole gang, including the leaders, even for crimes that they didn't personally commit, facing decades, if not life, in prison.
Calls, text messages, and so. If these dudes wanted any success, they needed a glider in there.
We're too dumb for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see Michael Corleone managing these guys.
Right.
Yeah, man. Listen, man, it's just too much melanin, man. Too much melanin going on right here, man.
I'm telling you, they needed a glider running point, man.
You might need Tony S on this one.
Yeah. I think. You know, anytime I think about something like this, I just think, you ever seen that movie Apocalypse Now?
I heard of it.
There's this one scene where Martin Sheen comes up and you just got a bunch of sun man just going crazy, just shooting at nothing, and Martin Sheen's just looking around and he's like, "Who's in charge here?" And they're like, "Ain't you, man?" They just look at him. He don't even know him. They're like, "Ain't you the one in charge?" And that's just what I think about.
There's so much truth in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Roach is my favorite one. The guy with the grenade launcher.
Right.
He just stoned out of his mind.
Yeah. He just popped that and just shot it. Yeah.
Yeah. Roach.
Life in prison.
These telephone calls, text messages, and social media.
And again, this was a 2-year comprehensive investigation that included multiple agencies. We're talking state, federal, and local level. Authorities sending a clear message that they are watching and they are working to keep the streets of Northeast Ohio safe. In Cleveland.
I'm doing that great of a job. They don't look very safe.
Wow. Just knocking down these gangs, man, and
yeah, it sounds like they're trying to go old school again with the rules and all that.
Good luck with that.
I mean, it was very successful.
A deadly road rage encounter in Minneapolis has ended with a guilty verdict, and a gunman headed to prison for years.
So the shooter had claimed self-defense, but a jury did not buy that story. Today, the judge had the final say at sentencing. Our Paul Bloom has tracked this case through the courts. Paul, today, an apology from the man who pulled the trigger.
This case was a first for us. We previously told you about the first trial where our TV cameras were allowed inside from opening statements straight through sentencing today under new court rules. Well, a jury found Daha Hassan guilty of unintentional second-degree murder during last year's road rage encounter with Randy Burris. And today, the judge handed Hassan a 13-and-a-half-year prison sentence.
Without any sort of warning, any sort of, I have this gun, back up or I will use it, he pulls out that gun, he aims it at Randy Burris, and from very close range, within a couple of feet away, he shoots Randy not just once, he shoots multiple times.
Prosecutors there had fought for a much longer sentence, arguing the unarmed victim here, Randy Burris, was particularly vulnerable during the deadly encounter along Minneapolis's West River Parkway. Burris had a couple cracked vertebrae and was wearing a visible neck brace from a prior injury when he was shot and killed. Daha Hassan, seen here in body camera footage, testified in his own defense at trial, blaming Burris for escalating this nighttime confrontation.
Wow.
Hassan fired his homemade Palmer handgun from his vehicle, killing the 34-year-old father today.
So he had a homemade gun. Yo, son,
Killing the 34-year-old father today.
I don't think that was a son.
Who, the shooter?
No, I don't think so.
The shooter, no.
You don't think that was his son?
Yeah, he's
Look,
Somali.
look,
He's
look.
straight Somali.
Yeah, look.
Oh, he is. Okay.
That's his son, man.
His homemade Daha Hassan.
Look at that nappy ass hair.
Killed Daha
That nappy ass hair.
Hassan, seen here in body camera footage, testified in his own
That's
defense
a
at trial.
son. That's a son from a different galaxy, man. That's a son that orbits a different
Nighttime
planet.
confrontation. Hassan fired his homemade Palmer handgun from his vehicle, killing the 34-year-old father today. An apology.
I never wanted to kill anyone ever in my life. Never wanted to hurt anyone ever in my life.
Then why'd you point a gun at him?
This is really hard for me. And
I think it might be
I'm
the
also
drill music.
wanted to say, if it wasn't clear before too, that I'm sorry to the families.
And with time already served, Hassan expected to spend approximately the next 8 years behind bars. He would then be under some form of supervised release for the duration of his 13-and-a-half-year sentence. Paul Bloom, Fox.
Hey, man, sons be winning, man, on the low.
For real.
Be out before he's 30.
Yeah.
First here tonight, breaking bond. A 21-year-old man granted low bonds for violent charges he picked up while serving probation is now sentenced to 7 years in prison.
Fox 26's Randy Wallace joining us live from the courthouse with the latest in his ongoing series.
Yeah, Rossi, now a relative of one of Frank Jaroge's victims isn't happy with the 7-year prison sentence, but he says he is glad that he can no longer terrorize women. In February of last year, 21-year-old Frank Jaroge was sentenced to probation after pleading guilty to assault with intent to impede breathing.
And a family member was so frustrated
He got his mugshot face
because
down.
he had 7 additional charges while out on probation. 4 of them resulted in him getting a $100 bond.
Jaroge was granted those extremely low bonds for violent crimes like kidnapping, aggravated assault, and sexual assault. At just 21, Jaroge was already considered a career violent offender.
He's did some very horrible things, some just things humans aren't supposed to do to each other, and he was a very sick person.
This man is related to one of Jaroge's victims. We are not identifying him to protect her identity.
There are other women that he terrorized as well.
Yes, there was a couple of others, and he's terrorized also a few of his family members also. So he's not any stranger to this.
So he ended up copping a plea for 4 felony convictions, and the other 4 were dismissed, basically lumped in to the others. So, he got a pretty good deal. There's no way to.
You think?
They need to end that crap right there.
What is wrong with Houston, man?
God bless him. He got that buck shot down. He got it.
He does. He's practiced.
I was trying to tell you. He looks himself in the mirror every time. He's like, "Yeah, this is it."
Hit the like button. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App with a super chat, guys.
Houston's a wild place.
Yeah.
Wild place.
Sugarcoat that.
What do you think of the 7-year prison sentence?
I don't think it was enough.
What do you think would have been a fair, just sentence for him?
For him to get the 99 years.
7 years means he'll be eligible for parole in a little over 3 years, probably 3.5 years.
I'll be one right there. protesting it, then I'm sure there's be some others there too.
Now, those familiar with Jerome Gay and his crimes can rest easy, at least for 3 to 4 years. Reporting live from the courthouse.
Yeah,
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I can't believe he said that.
I'm sure he probably won't do it again though after he gets out.
Of course not.
No, after doing it in prison, you know.
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, come on, man. He only had like 15
times or
assaults.
Wow.
Good
You guys ever watch the parole hearings from like Mandu? Parole hearings are a joke.
Oh yeah.
I bet.
Oh, he was a model citizen. He didn't stab anybody. It's a pretty low bar, you know.
Mostly peaceful. Mostly peaceful stabbing.
Yeah. Mostly peaceful but fiery protest.
Wild video from Montgomery County where a dog attack happened at a bar of all places in Norristown, all because the customer was asked to take the pit bull dog outside. The man is recovered.
Yeah, he has to leave.
Never do that.
Pit bulls are the son people of dogs, yeah.
He doesn't watch the show.
Town, all because the customer was asked to take the pit bull dog outside. The man is recovering at home tonight. Our Ellen Kaloje spoke with the victim's family in Norristown.
This all started last night about 6 o'clock here at Coletti's Town Tavern on Marshall Street, when the owners say one of their regular customers came in with his dog, and just like several times before, they asked the guy to take his pit bull outside, and that's when things turned ugly.
It's just really tragic what happened here.
I'm so sad. Heng Lee could not believe her eyes when she saw her husband getting attacked by a pit bull inside their own store.
I hear my husband yelling, so I very hurt.
I cannot bear to look at that video. It's too many times.
60-year-old Thong Nov is home recovering after going to the hospital last night with serious bites on his side and foot. His family is upset to talk, but his nephew believes this surveillance video tells the tale of what happened when Nov simply asked a man to take his dog outside.
The dog attacked the owner, or attacked my uncle, and by swinging the dog leash towards my uncle and aggressively attacking him. And my dog, or my uncle, was just trying to get him off.
Alex Nov says police came to the store but did not arrest anyone. He also says the dog owner came back later to apologize.
What? Wow, he came back.
He let the dog bite the dude.
He made the dog bite the dude.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, my bad, man. Shit.
Man, that dog needs to get shot.
Is this a different one or the one in like New York City where it was a big black dude who owned the dog? This is a different one?
This is Philly, man. This guy right here, though,
New
man.
York City.
The audacity to come back to the same place.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
That's probably the only place within walking distance sells Steel Reserve.
Like that.
Some longtime customers say the owners are good people and most customers have no problem keeping their dogs outside.
But to sick your dog and to send your dog to attack someone, I've never seen anything like that. And it's a shame. And I'm glad they got the footage. And I hope they find whoever that was. I hope they find them.
All right, sister. All right.
They found him, man.
They didn't do nothing.
They got the guy's credit card receipt.
They didn't arrest anyone. That's what they said, right?
Yeah, nobody's arrested. No crime was committed, man. Yeah, could you imagine if somebody from another race had sicked the dog on a black person?
Oh God.
Oh God.
Evoking
and that dog having to be a German Shepherd.
Alabama in the 50s.
Exactly.
All over TV.
Exactly. Of the South and shit.
It hadn't changed. Look, it's still the same.
That's not right.
Like, what are you going to do? Not arrest the guy? The guy's already walking. He only lives a block away.
Now, we reached out to the Norristown Police Department, and a captain there says they are reviewing this case and are still investigating. In Norristown, Ellen Kaloje.
Yikes.
That
At
guy's
11,
related
police
to
have made
somebody.
2 arrests in a Gwinnett County
Could
road
just
rage
be.
shooting. This happened late last month at a parking lot of Holcomb Bridge Road and Peachtree Corners.
doing work.
Fox 5's Brittany Edney joins us there live with details on the arrests.
Christine, we have video that shows how a parking lot standstill turned into a very violent situation. And now police have arrested 2 suspects in connection to the shooting. This video obtained by Gwinnett County Police shows what led up to a parking lot shooting on November 25th in Peachtree Corners.
And they were having an issue as to whose turn it is to go, and they didn't want to move. They started
Yeah,
flashing.
something like this is very dangerous, you know.
There's plenty of room for the white car to get around the black one.
Where? Oh, you talking about the? Hold on, let's look.
Yeah,
Hold on.
look at that. There's plenty of room.
I don't know if you could. I don't know if from
I
where you're sitting
agree.
in the car, it might not look like it. I don't think it would look like because you remember when you're in the car, you can't see all that right there. It would probably not look like you could squeeze through there, but yeah.
They didn't want to move. They started flashing their high beams at each other.
Investigators say suspects from the white BMW then went over to
Oh wow, they hopped out quick.
Damn.
the other vehicle, where a confrontation turned violent.
You can see that the suspect male has a handgun in his hand. And we paused the video there because a physical altercation ensued right after. And during that altercation, one of the victims suffered a gunshot wound to his lower extremities.
Damn, son, goddamn, look at that fucking hair, and goddamn Aztec and a fucking sombrero.
High yellow umbrito.
Yeah. Damn.
Police have arrested 21-year-old Piola Nicole's Cruz Pena and 25-year-old David Jesus Revielo Cedeno in connection to the shooting.
Something that could have totally been avoided in this situation now turned into 2 young adults that are facing serious felonies.
Road rage incidents aren't new in metro Atlanta. With the holiday season upon us, police want to remind drivers to try and de-escalate any road or parking lot situations.
We want people to please remain calm. And if you find yourself in an encounter with an individual or a group of individuals that are agitated, at all costs, try to avoid any confrontation because it could turn deadly. Like you.
Hold it down. I'll be right back.
Yeah, there's plenty of room there. It's just she's a female driver and she can't fucking drive.
No.
I mean, they look like they wanted to
Awareness,
smoke anyway.
proprioception.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they jumped out quick.
Yeah.
They didn't want to move Pat. They wanted him to back up.
Nah, they just wanted to argue.
Up, so they definitely couldn't get out.
They just want to talk shit.
This is incredibly stupid.
Oh, and he got out with the gun in his hand, so you knew what his intentions were.
Not no conversation. But I'm surprised, dude. The Umbritos are fucking, maybe not surprised, but they're doing serious work these days. That one in New Orleans, I was definitely surprised to learn that those were two
I
Umbritos.
imagine it's going to get worse now that you got a lot of those
The gang members and all.
well, not just the
Trendy
gang
Aragua
members, but
types.
well, no, just because a lot of those free services are coming to an end. So
Oh yeah.
I imagine they're just gonna be like on some I don't give a fuck type shit. Or who knows, maybe they won't because they know that immigration, or at least will be under the illusion that immigration is coming after them. But I imagine that they're gonna just take advantage of people.
Oh yeah.
Exploit them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the Democrats are gonna back them up.
Yep.
These
Yep.
liberal mayors.
Every
you know.
single time, you know. So we're gonna continue with the gaslighting.
I really want Trump to start arresting these mayors. Then
Well-
order their police departments not to do detainers, to do ICE detainers.
Yeah.
Because it's a federal crime.
Yeah.
He needs to have the balls to put one of them in fucking jail. Because you put one of them in jail and charge them federally,
Yeah.
and every one of them will fucking bow to you after.
Yeah, I really doubt that. I doubt Trump's arresting anybody. I just think that I kind of think that I'm not. I kind of think that we're going to be close to the 2016 Trump. You know, he's going to keep the
Did you
same.
see how many people are begging for a pardon right now? Marilyn Mosby was begging Biden for a pardon at her press
Yeah,
conference or whatever.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. And then you got Fauci, Liz Cheney. I'm curious, what does Liz Cheney need to be pardoned for? I don't.
Obviously something.
Yeah, but so it's
I
like,
think that the January 6th cover up.
Okay.
'Cause that would really be the only thing that she was involved with.
Okay. Yeah. So
Because they need to go after those officers,
like her relative.
yeah,
the officers that perjured themselves and all that shit.
I know they're gonna have to, you know, and I don't even really need to see anybody get punished all that bad, but at least let's get the perp walk. Let's get them. They can't, you know. Let's get them remanded. Let them get their trial, their sentence, and then all that shit. But we got to see it on TV, and we kind of just have to have that equal balance back on mainstream media. Mainstream media needs to report all the people that have done all these treasonous actions, you know, and we need to see it.
Well, and I would love to see Trump and Congress go after Eric Holder for ignoring that subpoena back in the day.
Yeah.
Put that motherfucker in jail for 30 days, 60 days.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the hammer to drop on these Sun mares. You got like a few of them already.
Hey,
Latoya
man,
is skirting dangerously close with the FBI and shit, and I promise you, she's going down for something.
Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
Her too, I'm
You
sure.
know, I mean, yeah, dog. You got Brandon Johnson.
Yeah,
You know, it's like
hair pick dude in fucking Baltimore, and he is insufferable.
yeah. You got. Oh my God, he is. You know, you got such a poor representation, and it's almost like, I don't know. It's like they're setting the groundwork for the future. Hopefully, they'll set the groundwork for future expectations of the Sun Man, because that's one thing I used to always hear. Oh, where's the black people? Where's the black people? And Trump said, "Man, I'm like, fuck that."
None of the black people supported it.
No, they need to earn their keep around here. I don't give a fuck. We ain't doing that identity politics.
I mean, this shit is ridiculous, man. But he needs to go after people, because guess what? He ain't got to be reelected.
No.
You know.
So
keep
what do you
JD
think?
Vance smiling, kissing
Yeah.
babies, shaking hands,
Yeah.
and Trump can be the bad guy this time.
He can be. I mean, hopefully he will. Hopefully he will. You know, I see how they were, how Hegseth was getting the pressure. They were putting the pressure on him, and I was like, nah, Hegseth is safe. This guy has already pledged his allegiance to the people who, you know, who apparently matter the most. He's willing to fight and die for the United States of Israel. So it's like he's safe, he's protected. But I can't stand how it seems like every person that is getting attacked and getting slandered with all these allegations, it's for having heterosexual sex. It's like dudes are getting punished for having sex with women.
Oh, and nothing happened to those two dudes that had sex in Congress.
Right. On film. He's who's recorded this. That's just crazy. It's crazy. And it's crazy that we got to play dumb. We sit here and got to play dumb about it. You know? Like Ox said once, he was like, we sit here and get browbeat by some homosexual about how we're not doing this or that right. And they just blew somebody in the parking lot. You know, who are you to sit here and tell me what is about morality.
That's what makes him a fag.
Yeah, like no, I'm done playing that game. I'm done playing that game. I'm done listening to people telling me about
Lecturing.
people who crown themselves as being atheists, and then they turn around and tell me about how we have to follow this area to this place because it's God's will. You're an atheist. You just told me. So why are you telling me about God's will? Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with all that.
When it's convenient.
Oh yeah, that guy that ran for Florida governor 2 years later got caught
Gillum
with a male hooker.
Right.
OD'd with fucking
Right.
meth in a room and coke.
Hey man, I'm telling you. Hey, Ron DeSantis, man, he better be thanking Trump. He better be thanking Trump for getting. Florida should be thanking Trump, because if Gillum would have, if Gillum would have gotten Florida, Florida would, huh?
LiAngelo Ball, of all people, he bailed him out.
Oh man, yeah, he did. He did. I don't know if y'all are fans of Nick Fuentes, but I remember I was listening to this guy interviewed him. He interviewed him when he interviewed Nick, and he was talking about the Mar-a-Lago dinner with him and Kanye. And it was really, I can't remember what the guy's name is who interviewed him, but it was funny listening to Nick's side of it, because Trump started talking about or I guess Kanye kind of asked him kind of like the question of like, what are you going to do for black people? And then Trump pretty much started going off talking about the things that he did for black people, and he was talking about the LiAngelo Ball thing. I think he was also talking about ASAP. Maybe he did something
And
for
Kodak
A$AP
Black,
Rocky.
by the way.
Okay, I don't think he mentioned Kodak Black, but he
ASAP Rocky
mentioned
got in trouble in Sweden, and he had him like fucking. It was like a diplomatic incident,
Yeah.
basically. And
And-
so same thing with Ball, I believe, in China.
Yeah. So
They-
bottom line is
showing their
Trump
ass in
pretty
other
much
countries.
he pretty much said
First
that he did
week.
all this for black people, and he said at the end of the day they were kind of just ungrateful. And so it's like
Oh, imagine that.
I know, right? I know. So it's like
Way out
Not
of
worth the
character.
trouble.
it's yeah. So it's like when you so it's almost
Maybe don't
like
worry about it this time around. That's what my advice would be to him.
absolutely no, don't worry about it at all.
Because
For
there's no victory to be
20%
had.
of the
man.
male vote, is it worth it? You
Nope.
know?
Nope, it's not. It's not. Let them grind. Let them grind the way that they should. No different than any other conservative.
I mean,
no different. Yeah.
Most blacks at this point believe that they're responsible for the Democrats losing. Like, oh yeah, we really sent a message because we didn't vote for Kamala. Like,
Yeah, I know, but remember we got
how can you even
we
fucking
tend
help
to
people
we
out?
tend to have first person syndrome. We
Oh, I calls it first person player syndrome. But
Yeah, right.
yeah, what is
Right.
it? Like everybody else is an NPC basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Main
I
player.
heard I think see the world through a microscope. It's like you can only focus on one little thing, so you just think about yourself. And then think about black people being amongst other blacks, right? Being amongst their family members and things like that. And so it's literally probably yourself against 13 other people. And then you meet one person here, one person there, one person there. So it's literally y'all 5 against the 30. And everybody's sitting here telling you about how ignorant and stupid you are. And you're like, man, just wait. Y'all are the stupid ones. And then Trump ends up winning. So they end up being right. And because, their world is Blackistan, they think that they played a part in that because their world is Blackistan. They're not really in the white neighborhood. They're in the black town, doing the black businesses, going to work, white people are like are like just one frown away, just a frown on their face away from being called racist.
Yeah.
I'm
So
straight.
it ain't no difference.
Oh man.
This all happened in the 1300 block of Woodbury Place in DeKalb County. His family believes a passenger shot him. Fox 5's Christopher King is live at the DeKalb County Police Department in Tucker, where Christopher, they are searching for this suspect tonight.
That's right, Christine. And Rafiq Badi's killer is still on the run. And tonight, his mom lives with the knowledge her son's shooter is still out there.
I'm trying to stay as sane as I can. It's hard.
Legina Living will never see her son again.
Why him and why us?
Living tells Fox 5 someone shot and killed her son, Rafiq Badi. It happened just after 7:30 Saturday night on the 1300 block of Woodbury Place in DeKalb County. Badi was working as a Lyft driver.
He was picking up a passenger.
Police confirm a victim at that location suffered several gunshot wounds.
It sounds like he probably was either fighting off his assailant.
Badi died hours later.
It's a lot that I'm missing from him because someone took it away.
Living tells us her son was ambitious and hardworking, a man of many different talents.
Videographer, amongst being a Lyft driver, he was a security guard. Rapper.
I was about to ask.
Oh yeah.
Words I don't remember.
I know, man. We were doing okay too. We were doing okay, but
Yeah, that's the white version of a professional skateboarder.
well, I'll take that. Why can't you say musician?
Nah, man.
It's not music.
It really does.
It's not
do
music.
that.
Oh well, yeah.
That's a lack of it.
He's not a musician. He's a rapper.
Damn it.
Jesus
I need to
Christ.
fucking dress the bullshit up a little bit, man.
He was just a great.
Never hear concert
Wait, never
pianist.
mind.
That's for goddamn sure.
He's a damn rapper, all right.
That's him right there.
Yeah.
Why he ain't smiling, man?
Doing his rapidy
He was
rap.
smiling in the
Just a
first picture.
great person.
She still dials Rafiq's cell phone just to hear his voice.
It's hard to even call his
Wow.
voicemail or listen to any of his music because I think I'm really going to lose it.
Now, Living wants justice for the death of her
I
son.
want to know what
I
his music
hope
looks like.
that they are captured so we can find out more details and get them where they belong.
Huck, let's listen to his music.
And Living says she's still waiting.
Huh?
Let's listen to his
You know
music.
he's on SoundCloud.
What's his hold on, let me see what's the name of his
I didn't hear a
Rafiq.
rap name or anything.
Rafiq, you're a champion. At the true
The true something.
let me see. Let me find I already know what it's gonna sound like though. I mean I already know. I like it's literally like a 99% chance that it sounds like what we all think it's gonna sound like, and it's a 1% chance that it's not.
Oh, come on. It could be like
Um,
one of those.
No,
We gotta
no
bring
moons in the
community
stars.
together. We gotta stop the violence, rappers. You know.
The moons and the stars. You never know.
Stop the violence.
Oh, he corny then.
Man, let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Let me see. Rafiq. Yeah, I'm having trouble finding it. Rafiq, you're a champion. That will be the name of it. Let me get to this Daniel Penny next, man. Let me see. Oh man, it's not. He must have been like very low.
Underground.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he was definitely underground. Somebody, if you can find it, man, send it to me, man, or put the link.
I found an Instagram post about him that's got some video of it.
Oh, what's his Instagram? What's his IG?
And I don't know if this is his, but it's somebody associated with him, and it's Funky Fresh egg rolls. I'll put it in the back, sir.
Funky Fresh
egg rolls.
All right. Let's see.
Our nephew, Rafiq Batty, for making these classic Funky Fresh remixes. Yeah, this is apparently a business that somebody in his family owns out of state, but he did some songs for them.
It says Funky Fresh spring rolls.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the Instagram of a family member, and he did some rap songs for them that play in the posting.
It's wrestling season. Wrestling season.
Oh.
All right, Funky Fresh Nation. I am here with the legendary Keisha.
There we go.
I don't know. I'm thinking this might be actually funny.
Oh, so they make spring rolls. Oh, black-owned spring rolls. Okay. Oh man, I'm.
That's cultural appropriation.
It's too much, man. It's too much trying to find that shit. Let me go to Daniel. This Daniel Penny thing, man. Daniel Penny.
He came back, man.
Free my boy.
All right, Doc, I gotta run, man. I'll catch you later. You guys have a good
All
night.
right, man. Oh, so when the Latino come up on here, you leave, man, racist.
Yo, I was looking forward to engaging with my Clatter King brother.
Yeah, man, he was racist, man.
At least we got hot blacks.
You just had to deal with me and KB.
Yeah, racist. So let's see this, man.
East Village in Manhattan. So I take the subway multiple times a day. In this instance, I was coming from school. I got out of class around 2:15, and I took I was at J Street Metro Tech, took the Uptown F train. At 2nd Avenue, a man came on, stumbled on. He appeared to be on drugs. The doors closed, and he ripped his jacket off and threw it at the people sitting down to my left. I was listening to music at the time, and he was yelling, so I took my headphones out to hear what he was yelling. And the three main threats that he repeated over and over was, "I'm going to kill you. I'm prepared to go to jail for life, and I'm willing to die." You know, this was a scary.
Yo, that's like literally like that's the holy trinity of threats, man.
Man, I know, man. That's almost like a psyop. Like it's like what those three phrases.
Great
point. Hey, come on.
That kind of summarizes Blackistan.
Well, yeah, but even Blackistan, are they? I mean, are they really? Do some men really run around here saying that? I don't know. I guess maybe if you're okay.
I'll go to jail over this shit.
They run around.
I've heard similar things on the train.
Doing it. Like, what do you mean? They run around doing it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I remember one time I was on the train and two Sun men. It was like a real packed train; you could barely even move. And then two Sun men close to each other got into a fight about something, and one of them was screaming how he killed a whole bunch of people in Cicero. He don't give a fuck. He'll light, all the sun, Babylon shit basically. But talking about I don't give a fuck. I'll crash out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that de-escalate?
Did I do that?
How? No, I'm asking. How does it?
Oh,
there's a lot of people.
It didn't necessarily. It just kind of petered off, and like I got off the fucking train car as soon as the next stop came through. I didn't see the ending of it.
Yeah, that's usually what I
Scary situation. And Mr. Nearly came on. He was He was threatening. I'm 6'2" and he was taller than me. So it was, and
so this is a big old
Jordan Neely, 6'3" or 6'4". No fuck.
Yeah. I think about even what Mayor Adams said. Mayor Adams was like, "Oh, they tried to show a young picture of him looking like Michael Jackson," and he's like, "Nah, but this is a big guy, you know." So it's like, man, it's looking. I mean, it seems like a slam dunk. It seems
there's a
like
common
the
misconception
obvious.
that Marines don't get scared. We're actually taught one of our core values is courage, and courage is not the absence of fear, but how you handle fear. And, you know, I was scared for myself, but I looked around, I saw women and children. He was yelling in their faces, saying these threats. I couldn't just sit still. Some people say that I was holding on to Mr. Neely for 15 minutes. This is not true. I mean, between stops is only a couple minutes. So the whole interaction lasted less than 5 minutes. Some people say I was trying to choke him to death, which is also not true. I was trying to restrain him. You can see in the video, there's a clear rise and fall of his chest, indicating that he's breathing. I'm trying to restrain him from him being able to carry out the threats. And then some people say that this is about race, which is absolutely ridiculous. I didn't see a black man threatening passengers. I saw a man.
Yeah, you did,
threatening
bro.
passengers.
We know you did.
A lot of whom were people of color.
It's okay though, but we know you did.
Man
It's okay,
restrained
bro.
Mr. Neely was a person of color. A few days after the incident, I read in the papers that a woman of color came out and called me a hero. What I don't believe that I'm a hero.
You are.
She was one of those people that I was trying to protect. We were all scared. Mr. Neely was yelling in these passengers' faces, and they looked terrified. The reason why there was no video at the start of the altercation was because people were too afraid getting away from him, and the videos didn't start until they saw
This
that
one
situation
hits
was
home
under
so
control.
hard, man.
I knew I had to act, and
it is so fucking true. Like, yeah, it's not racist because the only people threatening people on the fucking trains everywhere, for the most part, are fucking black people. That's the only people you're gonna have a problem with. So, like, you know, there is no discrimination by its very nature.
Yeah, what do you mean for the most part?
I mean, I have to throw that in there because I'm sure that there are, you know, instances like I'm sure that there are crazy white dudes and stuff on there on occasion.
Yeah, no, there are. No, there are crazy white dudes. When I was in Philly, some crazy white dude like stopped and was staring at me while I was pushing my daughter in the stroller, and I looked.
But those riders are different.
I mean,
But who's gonna push you in front of the train? Who's gonna, you know, be rapping and smoking a blunt in the train car? Who's gonna be?
It's almost negligible.
It is.
Yeah.
It's definitely statistically negligible.
Statistically negligible, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So just to pretend like he was not doing anything
protect the other
is such horse shit.
And to like pretend like his criminal record isn't his criminal record, like
Right. And specifically, he's got a history of assaulting people on the train.
Man, you seen when he pushed that one chick like on the train, pushed her into a train. I guess it was already parked, but he pushed her into the tracks.
That was him.
I didn't see that. No. Wow.
Yeah.
You talking about that one where that blonde white lady gets pushed head first into the train?
Yeah, but I mean, she was okay. It's not like she fell under there because I've seen plenty where that actually happens. But
Well, that makes it better.
He put
She
like
didn't die, so,
like
you know?
he kind of was like he started like he was walking away and then he turned back around and pushed.
Yeah, that's been out there for a while. I didn't know that was
yeah,
him.
that was Jordan Neely. You know?
Wow.
They saw that
that's crazy.
The situation was under control. I knew I had to act, and I acted in a way that would protect the other passengers, protect myself, and protect Mr. Neely. I used this hole to restrain him, and I did this by leaving my hand on top of his head to control his body. You can see in the video there's a clear rise and fall of his chest, indicating that he was still breathing. And I'm calibrating my grip based on the force that he's exerting. And I was trying to keep him on the ground until the police came. I was praying that the police would come and take this situation over. I didn't want to be put in that situation, but I couldn't just sit.
So he's talking about this one. This one, everybody's probably seen this one. because I mean I've showed it several times on this channel, but I didn't know this was him. This is an older clip of that this right here. This has been out for a while.
And caught on camera, frightening moments on a subway platform. Cell phone video shows a man pushing a woman into a stopped subway train. This is at the DeKalb Avenue station in Brooklyn. Police.
I heard that right there was Jordan Neely. There was people posting it on Twitter. They were like, "Yeah, why was Jordan Neely?" And I've heard it more than a couple times. Like if you just type it up on Twitter.
Wow.
Jordan Neely
arrested
pushes
dozens of times,
against
right?
the subway. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. That white lady just dumb as hell, just still being around. Like,
oh
you see
man,
two trying there fighting, and she just standing there looking stupid.
Yeah.
This is at the
And then she sees she doesn't move out of their way. You got to get out of
DeKalb Avenue.
Yeah, they going for anything that's weak. They prey on the weak.
She kind of like
gonna say like an animal.
She kind of like deserved that one for being stupid.
Yeah.
But not even. And I'm not trying to. No, I'm not trying to like blame her. But like, she looked like she was like trying to like, you know what I'm saying? Like
She looked like she was in her own world.
She looked like she was actively in the mix and shit. And you gotta remove yourself from those situations, man. Let's see what else going on with this guy, man. Daniel Penny, man. We hope we wishing for the best for you, Daniel, but it's not looking. This person says, "Why is the Daniel Penny jury taking so long? This isn't a hard case. His actions were justified. He shouldn't have been even facing charges. This is the face of a hero."
I mean,
So
it fucking seriously is, man.
Yeah. Do you think they'll riot act, or will there be civil unrest if and when he beats the case?
Nah.
You know what I think? It seems like
I don't think it'll be any civil arrest because it's like, Trump won. The zeitgeist is different if he gets off. I think that, it'll just be a couple people talking shit and maybe, some pundits talking shit. But I don't think there's any fear for anything like that. No, that ship is kind of sailed. And that one dude from Hawk Newsom, he'll be out there doing some shit. But other than that, no. But look at his parents. His parents have sued Daniel Penny.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
And this guy,
it just looks ridiculous.
think about this guy lived on the streets. He lived in homeless shelters for years, decades. He lived under the trains, you know what I'm saying, in New York City. And now these people want to come up and be parent after he's dead.
Did you see? There's an interview with the father, and he's like, "I don't remember what he said, but he's like, he would have been 33 or something, I believe."
Yo,
wow.
It just tells you everything you need to fucking know.
Wow.
You wouldn't have given him $5 in life.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
but
Well,
hold on. Yo, y'all do know like these lawyers, like they find these people, So like even if they did not call anyone to like sue him, these lawyers, they like hounds, man. They call you over and over and over and over again. And they be like, "Look, we can do this. We can do this. I do a pro bono." So it's fucking sick that they even would accept it. But like, who really turning down a fucking opportunity for a ghetto lottery?
Nope, nobody.
Well, the villain of this case is Bragg, the district attorney. He never should have brought this case. The judge should never have allowed it to get to the jury. There is so much reasonable doubt here. I was worried when the jury didn't come back after 2 hours of deliberation. I suspect there may be one or two people who have some doubts, but it would be shocking to me if there were a conviction in this case. And if there were a conviction, I think it would be reversed on appeal. This is a case that never should have been brought. This is a case that would never have been brought had the alleged victim not been black. This is a case which was brought as the result of protests on the street, not a fair application of the law. And I believe that ethics committees should be looking into District Attorney Bragg relating to his decision to bring this case, his decision to bring the Trump case. He has become a danger to the rule of law in America.
Who's this Nazi? I like him.
I know, right?
I like this fellow.
Hey, look at
I don't-
this.
I don't
Get a
like
load
this.
of get a load of this one.
Yeah,
The prosecutor.
yeah, the racist glider, man. I love that guy, man. We need more of him.
Says, I feel like not enough people know this about the Daniel Penny trial testimony. Jordan Neely was alive when the cops showed up, but they didn't render aid because he was dirty and smelly, and they didn't want to risk
I
getting
promise you he
HIV.
did. The kind of guy that when he
Amazing.
walks into the train car from the emergency exit as the train's moving, the stench just fills the entire car immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't teach us mouth to
Hey.
mouth anymore anyway,
And then-
so this some bullshit.
And
They
then
tell you,
Daniel Penny had to hold on to that for like 5 minutes, but he couldn't get that stench off him for about a couple days.
Yeah, but that whole, CPR, you don't use mouth to mouth anymore anyway. They tested that.
compressions.
Yeah, it's just chest compressions now. Mouth to mouth, they tested it and it was like it really didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yo, what if she a 10 though, Krug? What if she a 10?
You say what?
Jesus Christ. Yo.
What'd you say?
Crazy.
Hey, what if she was a 10?
Oh, get out of here, bro.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, breathing like hot carbon dioxide into somebody's mouth it just doesn't seem like it does anything.
Yeah, it don't do anything. It was like it's been debunked, and everybody went past that shit. Now they don't even teach that shit in CPR anymore. But they do for like little babies and shit like that. It might help more, like a blow, like a not like mouth to mouth anymore. But on adults, this shit does nothing.
Mouth to mouth was around for like a long ass time for it to have not been effective.
I know,
wasn't
I
it?
know. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, so is like putting
Right?
leeches on people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and we went to the moon, so it's cool.
Yeah, right. Shit. Let's see. Where we at? Daniel Pitt. So yeah, man. Can't knock those cops, man. I mean, they got to go home.
Yeah,
You got
for
to
the
go
cops
home.
to
man.
not want to like do chest compressions on this motherfucker, that means that he was definitely alive, because we taught not to even do chest compressions if he's breathing on their own. You know what I'm saying? If they have a pulse, we taught not to do it because you end up breaking ribs and doing all the other shit when you do chest compressions. So that shows you right there that he was alive on scene.
When you see the fact that the Washington Post and the New York Times, it was almost like all of a sudden, like it came out of nowhere, just beating everybody over the head with race and racism at the same time. What do you think the reason is that they're doing that specifically?
At this point, the old adage is if it bleeds, it leads. I'd say they really want a lot of bleeding at this point. And, again, that might sound uncouth, but at this point, I mean, what do you call it? You have Congress people literally coming out, working in tandem with the media, seeding these narratives before we even have all the facts. It's like on my columns, on my Twitter page, follow me at Malcolm_Flex48, once again. But on my columns, I tell everybody, tactical patience, at least 48 to 72 hours before you have all the facts. After we even got word, AOC and Ayanna Pressley were on the media blitz calling this a modern day lynching, and the media was all too happy to just disseminate those lines and those narratives. And it's just, what do you want? You want more instances of what they can mark as white vigilantism, which we really know at this point can marginally be called self-defense, if not, proactive,
That's
maybe
always
like
what it was.
proactive defense, because everybody on that train was probably in fear for their life, that subway. And you can tell by the 911 calls, it was 6 minutes from the first call to the responding EMT. 2 of the calls highlighted that they believed he had a weapon. Yet the media will never tell you that, because again, they want people to be doing what they're doing right there on subways, getting on subway trains, getting in the faces of police officers. They love that.
As a trained fighter, when you saw the chokehold, how did you see that?
When I saw it, number one, Neely looked like he was struggling the whole way. And so, part of that is that it's called sinking a hold or submission in. I don't know that it was ever like fully sunk in. And something that you said about the toxicology report, I think that's really important, but we're not getting that. It kind of reminds me of the manifesto of the Nashville shootings. We're just not getting that information. And so it's like one of those that's an important component to understand what happened. But then we also have, important independent journalism and reporting, thanks to Twitter, that pretty much showed that even after this incident, they, Penny, he had him in a recovery position on the side, and the people on the train car were trying to reassure Penny, and he looked devastated.
Yeah, that's not what murderers do. They don't try to help the guy up and clear his airways after that. All right, Malcolm, thanks very much. Everybody go check out his Substack.
Who's that self-hating coon, man?
Yeah, I know. Hey, you know what I think? I think it's simple. I think the media, they're just looking for another white Jesus to crucify. And they're just going to continue to do it. They're always going to try and find them a white Jesus.
I think that well, that was back when it happened. I don't think right now, I don't see a lot of media people talking about this. I don't see a lot of CNN, MSNBC, maybe Fox.
Yeah, this is not a big story.
It's a loser.
I was like, I've been following it all day, right? But when it's like a big story, it just pops up on your timeline that they still deliver, like the jury still deliver. I would have to type in like Jordan Neely or whatever
trending.
it is. It's not trending. Like I gotta type it in to see what the fuck is going on. I've been following it, but I've been typing in,
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I'm just so glad that Trump's in office. I'm so glad Trump won.
Tired of this shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you an example of something that I did.
Everybody tired of this shit, bro.
Mine, and this has never been done in my office.
Oh, this bitch.
I had a murder case where the defendant did not intentionally kill the victim. He went into an ATM on the Upper West Side and tried to rob an individual. Unfortunately, it was an older individual. He was 86. And in the course of the robbery, he fell to the ground, and as a result, he died. This is under the law a felony murder, which is akin to intentional murder. However, when I first got the case, I learned, I took the time to learn about the defendant. And it was a strong case, so it wasn't about a whodunit. I knew immediately who did it. I could prove it. I could take it to trial that day and win it. But it wasn't about that. It was that the more I learned about the defendant and his life and the circumstances, the kinds of things that you're.
Oh shit!
Man,
this is.
Bullshit.
Hey, it gets
that
worse.
shit make me
It gets
so
worse.
mad, bro.
Hey,
and that's
dude,
the whole
that
thing.
this
Be
is
like, what about the victim?
Yeah.
Like,
Hey.
what about the family that lost their fucking grandpa, probably
Nah.
the rock of their fucking
Nah.
family,
They're not in the
This is
business of
juice
that.
gobbledygook.
Right on.
Yeah, she's definitely true, man.
Trial that day and win it. But it wasn't about that. It was that the more I learned about the defendant and his life and the circumstances, the kinds of things that Jarrell was talking about, that one should take into account the trauma of that individual. I really felt incredibly sorry for him that he had gotten to that point in his life where he felt like there was no other choice but to commit this robbery.
Jeez, that's how they think. That's how the liberals think.
That's exactly how they think. That's how
women,
the Jews group think.
bro. Women should not be fucking lawyers, attorneys, fucking judges. Like, what the fuck, bro?
He got 42 prior
Yeah,
arrests.
my sister is a judge or a lawyer, and boy, are they not prepared for that position.
Do you remember this? This guy right here, he was with his girlfriend, and the son fucking with him. And, they didn't even take that. They dropped those charges instantly.
Quick, that shit. It happened like what, like a week after Penny?
Yeah, it was not long. It was not long after.
Man, that was crazy. That was crazy. I was like, I'm like, man, it's it's pretty simple, man.
Yeah, this is June 29th, so I don't know when that happened, but it was very, very, very. It says how white people in NYC are expected to act when black people try to kill them. Yeah.
Slow as shit.
It says, yeah, so the family, the parents, they doing the thing. Shit, man. So this one, hold on. Damn, fuck. I hate when you scroll up and down on this joint, man. It go too far. Oh yeah, remember this?
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, he knocked that chick out.
Will not stop attacking. Will not stop the attacker. Hold on, let me see. It says, here's how white men will react to attacks on NYC subway after Daniel Penny's trial. Yeah, this guy, the fear that must have been through this guy soul when this guy approached his wife like that, man. It can happen like that, man.
Oh!
The brazenness.
That train is crowded too. Like he's supposed to on a crowded train. Like
And that people don't understand is far from making it less likely. Filming the Sun Man will make it more likely for him to strike the white woman.
That's true. That's true. Because some people like to show off, and they like, especially violence.
Whites don't really understand Suns a lot of time, like the reverse nature of the psychology.
Like violence is like a calling card, a hallmark. So it's like if you can be seen as being violent, like a crowd or a camera around, like a lot of dudes, like if I was to like say I'm just a Sun Man, like I'm not talking about me, but and I knock out somebody out and nobody's around, I might just step off and just keep it pushing. But if people are around and I knock you out and you're just laying there knocked out, I'm gonna definitely kick you in your head a couple times.
You're
Just so
stomping.
that people know, like, yo, there's violence over here, yo. I'm crazy and
The
shit.
thing about the Daniel Penny case is that this is clearly, again, another attempt by our establishments to further emasculate white men and basically
Oh,
take
this
away
is
all
that broad from
That chick that gave that speech.
Yeah, what's her name? I
Oh
forgot
no,
her name.
I know.
Yeah, she's
I
nice. I
know
like
she was a 10. She was
their
a
options to
10.
defend themselves or other people. Reason for this being, of course, that although Daniel Penny clearly did not have a racial motive when he bravely stood up and restrained Jordan Neely, a black erratic homeless man with a long-standing criminal record who was threatening passengers on the subway in New York, saying that he would kill them and that he would have no trouble going to jail for that, that the prosecution, who is now coming after Daniel Penny, wanting to lock him up for up to 15 years, and of course the media, who are trying to spin this into a whole new George Floyd versus Derek Chauvin type of situation, clearly are racially motivated. And the message here, of course, is that if you are a white man and you see something like this happening, You might think twice before stepping in if the person who's harassing the passengers is black, because you might end up exactly like Daniel Penny. And for a lot of men, that simply won't be worth it. The consequence of that, of course, will be that vulnerable people who are already increasingly unsafe in our society as a result of liberal policies, now next time around won't have a Daniel Penny around to protect them, because our establishment actively punishes those who show bravery. And so if you are a woman who has men in her life, who's lucky enough to have men in her life, like I am, like my husband, for example, or my father or my brother, whom I know are the types of men that no matter what the consequences are, would still stand up and protect innocent strangers on a subway against a man like Jordan Neely, for example, that those men will be the men paying the highest price. So if you value their strength, their bravery, their courage, their chivalry, then you should be standing up now, speaking out about what is happening with Daniel Penny.
That fucking photo of him, it's such a cliche to use that shit. Like the best photo you ever fucking, most innocent photo.
Wow.
Glider should have known not to. He should have known not to fucking step in. He should have known.
Well, that lady that was just talking, she sounds like, she would have the sense to not antagonize the Sunman on the train because she knows what's going to happen. Like,
yeah, for sure.
If glider women were really the great companions to us, they would, they would prevent themselves being in situations where white men had to step in and, defend them in a situation where they know, or in a political climate where they know it's going to be, just suicide almost to do so, right? But they don't, and they're
wow, did you know
feminists and all that shit.
That's the prosecutor, that lady that was talking that crazy shit. That's the prosecutor.
Yeah, you should continue listening to what she got to say.
This one right here. This is
continue playing that video.
Thinking about what it is that I've been doing all these years, it's actually very clear why I became a prosecutor. My father was a Holocaust survivor, and his parents were murdered. And so I grew up with somebody whose parents were murdered and all of the emotional implications that go along with that. Now, as a kid, learning a lot about the Holocaust and knowing about my family's experience, something that really, really bothered me was that nobody was ever held accountable for what was done to my grandparents and everyone else.
Oof.
And I remember a story that was being
say that.
But that's not true, though.
Right.
Hey, yo, say.
Germany had to pay, like, Germany didn't even, like, they were not even allowed to have a military. Like,
right,
bro.
Till now. They don't have one now. We have bases over there, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah, them in Japan. It's the same thing.
Japan, And plenty of Holocaust deniers get punished.
Yeah,
now.
man. She's completely lying. I mean, she's
people who
they're finding 101-year-old Nazis and still locking them up in prison.
Yeah,
exactly. What is she talking about?
I ain't saying. She's clearly saying that
for what was done to my grandparents and everyone else. And I remember a story that was being told when I was a kid. It was about this woman that right before she was shot into a pit that she herself had to dig and killed, she yelled out to the Nazis and said, "You will be held accountable. One day you will be held accountable. You're going to pay for what you've done."
Yeah, but that story could be somebody in Haiti, somebody in the Congo. Like that story of being shot by the people that have occupied you is not a Jewish story. That's a story of anywhere where people like
what's happening in Haiti right now.
Yeah, or Sudan or
Ukraine.
Ukraine, like wherever people are at war and there's one side taking prisoners.
Syria.
Cruel.
See what's going on there.
They're trying to act like they're trying to act like that was like unique to them. Yeah,
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, they've kind of repeated the same story
Bro,
over.
they do that. I work for them motherfuckers. They do this shit all the time, man.
Yeah, yeah, and, yeah.
Talk
It's
about this shit.
yeah,
They will
man.
never let you like not know about the
No,
Holocaust.
no.
They almost worse than like they are kind of worse than like black people with slavery.
Yeah.
It's just like black people just like annoying as hell, and they don't have no
Yeah.
like they're
And
not
a lot of times they
successful.
just have no fucking idea what they're talking
It-
about.
Yeah, they
no,
be like
but
at a loss. Yeah.
it's crazy because I know a couple of Jewish people, the type that call themselves white, but secretly they say that they're Jewish, and they're really upset about it, but they're quick to call out like that FBA type stuff.
Wait,
And
how do you
I
know they're
tell,
Jewish?
huh?
How do you know they're Jewish?
They are Jewish because they said it, and
And
not
how do you
just
know they
that,
hide it?
because they call themselves white all the time. But when it came out that he was Jewish, he kind of just started acting out of character. So I was like, oh yeah, he's Jewish for real. So it's a sensitive topic for him, but he still wants to call out, black oppression, people that are on black oppression. And every time he does that, I turn around and I tell him, that's you. That's you. You are sitting here wondering why black people act, like they are oppressed. Meanwhile, you tell me that you see people being anti-Semitic because they're looking at you a certain way. You told me that story. And then he tries to go back and try and change the story around. I'm like, it doesn't matter. You told me that story.
I think what this really says is that this is sort of a universal human condition, honestly, to varying degrees, this persecution idea. Ask a huge swath of whites, and let me preface this, there is a lot of, there's a rationale behind these viewpoints, like what we're seeing on the screen here. But you ask a huge swath of whites, and they'll tell you that, Jews are the reason that everything is not working out, right? And maybe they are for a lot of reasons, right? But everybody does this to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, it's how wars started, It's just
What else does bitch say though? Go ahead.
She yelled out to the Nazis and said, "You will be held accountable. One day you will be held accountable. You're going to pay for what you've done." And it was told as a story of bravery, but I didn't take it that way. I was devastated and angry by the fact that nobody, in fact, was ever held accountable. And so look at what I do. I hold people accountable for killing other people. And so this has basically been my life's mission, is to hold people accountable for killing other people, that every life is worthy of being accounted for. Now, what holding people accountable means has changed for me.
Except the little fetuses. Those ones don't count.
Yeah, she's a horrible person, man. Just terrible.
Right.
So self and so pompous and fucking.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if she practices sex magic or something like that.
This shit gonna be a hung jury though, right? That's why it's taking so long, probably.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if them not coming back what that means, and I think if they would have come back early, they would have, it would have been they would have all been, in agreement. But they're deliberating, so they're trying to convince some people.
Yeah, it's probably like 2 or 3 people that's like whatever. But if it's a hung jury, then they have to like basically start all over and then actually, charge them and all this other shit again.
I mean,
he don't be doing that.
He's not out of the woods, man. He's got a long road ahead of him. Civil case and all that shit.
Yo, speaking of hung jury, man, I feel like we should change that term. It just brings up negative feelings of, engines.
Yeah, where did that term originate?
That shit
Can
makes
we
me
get a FBA to tell us that?
yeah, it makes me nervous and like scared. So that's
Yeah,
why I don't like going to court.
it's a dog whistle.
So with all the election news, I don't want the trial of Daniel Penny to fall through the cracks because it's majorly important and it's much bigger than just this one case out of a New York subway. So if you recall, Daniel Penny is the former Marine who faces manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide charges in the death of Jordan Neely. So all of this went down in May of 2023 on a New York subway when Neely, an erratic transient with a history of mental health issues, allegedly started acting out and threatening fellow subway passengers. Now, Penny, a United States Marine Corps veteran, stepped in to intervene and subdue Neely in an effort to protect his fellow passengers. According to testimony from a motion hearing last month, Neely barged onto the train after the 10th Street station, ripped his jacket off, and threatened to, quote, kill anybody. Now, Penny told detectives he didn't intend to kill Neely, but he did want to de-escalate and subdue him, and he did it with the help of two other men on that train. Well, the chokehold ended up killing Neely, which Penny did not even learn until later on, by the way. And while this trial is just in its beginning stages, protesters are already active outside the courthouse as jury selection begins. Same old story. They're accusing Penny of being a murderer and a white supremacist as they romanticize Jordan Neely as some sort of a martyr for what I don't know. And while I hope Penny gets a fair trial and while I believe he is innocent of the charges levied against him, I actually fear more for the people of New York City and all deep blue cities for that matter if Daniel Penny is convicted. And I'll tell you why. Because the precedent will be set. If you see something, do nothing. Look away, let it happen. If an erratic...
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been there because was it Bernie Getz back in the day? It's kind of always been there, and plus white people kind of know this just from everything, the totality of all the stimuli they get. So white people already knew this though, like to not. Daniel kind of like went off the grid. He didn't do what white people usually do.
Nah, white people probably would have like just got off.
I agree.
Next train, like a reasonable white person.
I'm saying, dude, I'm gonna be realistic, man. I don't know if I would get involved in that kind of fucking thing. I'm getting out and doing what's best for me and mine.
Getting off as soon as possible.
Yeah, I would have got off. I would have been like, man, fuck that shit. Like, unless like he was like fucking like touching people and shit like that, I would have been like, man, I'm getting the fuck off of here.
I called the cops, I'd have directed police to the train,
And that's the thing, like the crazy shit is this, right? Like how Daniel Penny's supposed to, not Daniel Penny, what's the Jordan Neely? He crazy, right? But he ain't that fucking crazy because the police was on the train and would have fucking told him to do this. He would have just walked his
or if a gang of little sun teens had come through with Pooh Shiesty masks.
Yeah, right. He wouldn't have fucking tried the motherfuckers from Bonkers or some shit like that. But he was acting a fucking fool around the people he know he can act a fucking fool around. If I would have came on that train in my fucking uniform and been like, hey man, go, man, you gotta go. He would have walked his ass off the train. These people are not crazy, man.
No.
You got some that are, but they more like that's drug shit. But this motherfucker ain't crazy, bro.
They enjoy this shit.
But even the ones you say that are crazy, like listen, I've been all around DC, Chocolate City, and everything, and we got a lot of dudes like that, crazy guys like that, transients and whatnot. I lived on 8th Street. There's a lot of them over there. I've seen these people. A little band of tough hood girls could have, pressed Daniel Penny out. Hey, look at this motherfucker. They could have just seen him dressed up like Michael Jackson and just started roasting him. And you know what I'm saying? And standing there and, roasting, and, when they roast you, then they start getting more and more aggressive and stuff. And like girls, I'm talking about hood rat girls, Shaniqua and Quantalasia could have, pressed him out and made him leave the scene.
Yep. And that's why I just don't understand him. Like, he must have been in the military recently. When did he get discharged? Because he must have not been in the real world long enough as like a young adult or some shit, he should have fucking known better than not get himself involved in no shit like this.
Maybe he's seen it over and over and over again, and he thought, not today.
Or maybe what he described, like, remember he said that the dude came in, he waited until the doors closed, and then he threw his jacket down at somebody, at one of the people on the train, and started yelling all that stuff, and he was in their faces. And like, maybe it was a more tense situation than what we see. And maybe because the train was full of like working class people and women, and it wasn't no like, brothers on there where you like, all right, he know better. Everybody on there could have been food. Sometimes you've been on a train car with everybody's food, especially during rush hour.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been, man, but I know he ain't doing it no more. I tell you that. But
they're saying in the chat that he was visiting New York City.
I thought he was in school.
I'm not sure. I now that they mentioned it, I don't know what.
I thought he was on his. I thought he was leaving class or on his way to class. Like he's in college, post military.
Wow.
You know how they pay for your schooling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that's what he was doing.
Top story: an innocent fast food worker caught in the crossfire.
We don't believe that she was the intended target.
Tonight, the investigation into the deadly shooting at the same Metro East restaurant. Tonight, a young woman is dead, killed on the job. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. Gunshots rang out of the McDonald's restaurant on North 24th Street in East St. Louis last night. Robert Townsend just got back from that community, which is searching for answers tonight, Robert.
And that community's not searching for answers. Oh, maybe that family is. Salute to fear resides within us. He says violence is another form of currency for sons. What up, Ak? Salute to you, man. Salute to Michael, man. Shout out to Deluxe 247, aka Carrican, aka the real MVP, coming through once again. Everyone, hit the like button right now. Everyone who's here, hit the like button right now. If you new here and you're not a member, subscribe. Everyone who's here, subscribe to the channel. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat. All the links in the description box. Definitely hit the like button, man.
Kelly and Mike, tonight police have not released the McDonald's worker's name or age. Meanwhile, East St. Louis police and Illinois State Police have teamed up to try to find her killer. Tuesday afternoon, we saw 2 bullet holes in a wall, all entrances to the parking lot blocked, and this McDonald's in East St. Louis was closed to the public. It's after police say gunfire rang out at the restaurant near North 24th and State Streets in the city's central business district. Major Rory Stewart is with the nearby East St. Louis Park District. A female worker was shot? That's what I was told. Police say around 7:30 Monday night, they responded to a shots fired call at the McDonald's. They got here and found the victim shot multiple times. She later died at a hospital. The woman was reportedly working the drive-thru when she was shot. The window is now boarded up.
The shooters may have just come through the drive-thru and start shooting, and we don't believe she was the intended target.
A source tells 5 on Your Side
Context
a
clues.
male employee at the McDonald's was apparently the intended target.
Wow.
This was the second deadly shooting at the business in 7 months. Investigators say in May, 2 people were shot here.
That's exactly like you said at the beginning.
Travion Brown.
The second deadly shooting at one fucking McDonald's in less than a year.
Tells you everything you need to know.
Come on, man.
Deadly. I wonder how many.
Probably not the only one, too.
Yeah, I wonder how
I'm
many
pretty
shootings total. Maybe about 10. Some men don't kill people.
How many McDonald's in the country have had one or more, like 2 shootings in 1 year?
Bro, it ain't many, man. It's
Probably
not
a
many,
couple.
bro.
Is it really shocking? Are we really shocked here?
No, I'm not shocked at all. But it is alarming 2 in 1 year though. Like 2 in 1 year. That is.
Bro, that's crazy.
It's crazy for sure. However, is it? It's just
for one McDonald's. Now, if it had been like just McDonald's in one city,
or if it was like a fucking project complex or apartment complex, like but a McDonald's
Yeah, a lot of
less
family,
than fucking
lot of
8
family
months.
there.
The bar's in hell, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and McDonald's and even a nightclub, like if a nightclub had 2 deadly shootings in a year, that would
Yeah,
be.
they shut down that motherfucking Atlanta when they
I've
had
heard
that
a few of
last
them
like
lately.
mass
Yeah.
shooting. What was that? That one in last mass shooting? They was like, yeah, we had 100 calls or 60. It wasn't even that many calls, and they was like, yeah, this shit gotta go after the nightclub.
This right here
11
just shows
Lounge, I
you
think it was.
Yeah. The people in this area are psychopaths and sociopaths. That's what that tells you about this area. This McDonald's more tells you more about the area. Look, you got a Boost Mobile here. Yeah, this is
at Target. This was the second deadly shooting at the business in 7 months. Investigators say in May, 2 people were shot here. 22-year-old Travion Brown from Cahokia Heights was killed.
It's really sad.
Neighbor Jamasetta Taylor says on October 30th, her 17-year-old son, Christian Taylor, was shot and killed just blocks away from this McDonald's.
I told you so. Yeah, so like this is just a rough area full of psychopathic sons.
Yo,
Just normal.
if you look up East St. Louis, period, East St. Louis is a huge shithole. That like
94% black.
Yeah, look at the average income and the education level of fucking East St. Louis.
94% black.
It's literally one of the worst fucking places in the fucking United States, bro.
Yes,
it's up there
It's
with
away
like
from this
Yazoo
McDonald's.
City, Mississippi, or some shit.
Miami Gardens, Bogalusa.
Son, Christian Taylor, was shot and killed just blocks away from this McDonald's.
I think they need to just patrol more in this area. Could have been any one of us, just walking past. Kids walk past through here all the time.
In a statement, the owner of the McDonald's said in part, quote, "The victim was a beloved member of our McDonald's family, and we are heartbroken over this tragic loss to senseless gun violence."
I've been told by the police chief that this is his #1 priority.
East St. Louis Police Chief Kendall Perry also extended condolences to the woman's family and friends. Now, anyone with any information about the deadly shooting can call Illinois State Police or Crime Stoppers at 866-37.
A suspected road rage shooting ends with one man dead. Houston police say it happened just before 9 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, investigators say the man drove himself to a gas station to get help. Katira Winfrey live near the Gulf Freeway in Fuquay, where first responders tried to save his life. Katira?
Yeah, Lynn and Mia, very tragic morning, obviously for that man's family, but also for the people who watched it happen. Houston police say they believe the man was shot somewhere else, but made it here. They said he actually was able to go inside and ask for help. He came back out and ultimately collapsed right in the front door.
You can only imagine the fear and the courage it takes to try to save your own life after being shot. But police say the man driving this truck tried to do it. Just before 9, he drove himself to this gas station in the 11200 block of Alameda, Genoa, hoping to get help.
I was in shock. I was in surprise because this is a very quiet neighborhood.
This man didn't want to be identified, but owns the restaurant next door, and he was greeted by first responders. He says he watched as they performed CPR, realizing immediately the grim reality.
They finally asked, they let me in, but they told me I'm not allowed to go outside. Just stay inside and keep the door locked.
Surveillance video shared with KHOU shows first responders trying to save his life. Shortly after he's placed in an ambulance, investigators say that man later died at the hospital.
I hope never do. Never do see things like this.
Houston police believe the shooting was the result of road rage, but right now aren't clear why it happened or where it happened. For hours, investigators canvassed the area, hoping to find clues, and right now haven't said if they have much to go on. For the people who watched the tragedy happen, say something like this stays with you for a while, but can only imagine the hurt the people who knew the man will feel forever.
Not forever, but well, for a while.
That's probably an on burrito with that big ass truck, that work truck.
Knew the man will feel forever.
Not forever, but
wasn't that
well,
some man
for
that
a
was in
while.
the video just a
because
minute
this
ago?
is something sad, Maybe.
Yeah, he look like a stuntman.
That looked like a stuntman to me.
Yeah, you see them skinny jeans out?
The chain.
Yeah, he got a chain, got a fucking hat facing forward.
Yeah, it looks like a sun.
He ran to the
That's a
Arab for
dead
help.
giveaway.
I was in shock.
He's little though. I don't know. Maybe it could be
The lighting too.
Yeah, it could be the lighting. The skin color
Look at
is.
the gun memorial. Gun memorial tell you.
Yeah, he probably stole
Burritos
that
do wear
truck,
chains
guy.
too.
He probably stole that truck, guy.
It is an interesting ride for a son, man.
Yeah, work truck. Yeah. Like some man don't really got. Oh
Nah,
yeah,
he
it was
stole it.
road rage. So it doesn't mean that like the man could have literally been just a working son man who just got killed by some random other son man who he cut off or driving too slow. I don't know, man. Yeah, man, that's wow. It said, "Oh, South Freeway."
What is that, Houston?
Yeah, this is Houston.
Oh, dang, God, dog, Houston taking all the L's.
Hoping to get help.
I was in shock. I was in surprise because this is a very quiet neighborhood.
This man didn't want to be identified, but owns the restaurant next door.
Hold on, let me
He was
see.
greeted by.
Yeah, Lynn and Mia, very tragic morning, obviously for that man's family, but also for the people who watched it happen. Houston police say they believe the man was shot somewhere else, but made it here. They said he actually was able to go inside and ask for help. He came back out and ultimately collapsed right in the front door.
You can only imagine the fear and the
56-year-old
courage it
son
takes
man,
to
I
try
believe.
to save your own life after being shot. But police say the man driving this truck tried to do it. Just before 9, he drove himself to this gas station in the 11200 block of Alameda, Genoa, hoping to get help.
I was in shock. I was in surprise because this is a very quiet neighborhood.
This man didn't want to be identified, but owns the restaurant next door, and he was greeted by first
I think I got him.
responders. He says he watched as they performed CPR, realizing immediately the grim reality.
They finally asked, they let me in, but they told me I'm not allowed to go outside. Just stay inside and keep the door locked.
Surveillance video shared with KHOU shows first responders trying to save his life. Shortly after he's placed in an ambulance, investigators say that man later died at the hospital.
I hope never do. I mean, never do see things like this.
Houston police believe the shooting was the result of road rage, but right now aren't clear why it happened or where it happened. For hours, investigators canvassed the area hoping to find clues, and right now haven't said if they have much to go on. For the people who watched the tragedy happen,
This
Yeah,
guy
Houston's-
does look
Houston's
like him
big
though. This guy right here looks like him, man. Because he got the same chain.
Mhm.
This guy right here, Frederick Nee 56. He got the same chain that guy had on.
You know?
He got a hat, but it's a different hat. And this happened. It said police captured armed man running on highway after fatal shooting. Person found shot to death on highway. I don't know. It could be. It doesn't. It's probably not him. That's probably somebody different. But yeah. Sad, man. Sad, man. Just last moments. Just
Yeah, Houston, road rage is crazy in Houston. I don't know if you remember that one white girl that was from that small town, and she was just driving in Houston because they were going to Galveston, and son man shot her up. You know, she was like in school, like
yeah, I
16,
remember
17 years old.
that. Forgot
Yeah.
her name. Yeah, she was the 17-year-old.
Yeah, you know, it's like,
I
you
forgot
know,
her name.
I forget, but I just know that the parents, you know, they're, you know, actually grieving. You know, we see so many parents, you know, oftentimes they cry with no tears, or they sit here and act like when their kid is dead over some senseless son moment, and they're just acting like their baby who took their first steps. Now you got some parents, you know, actually proud of their children, you know. They take the night out with their boyfriend, planning on being responsible. Probably did do some shit like cut somebody off or maybe flip somebody, man. But I'm telling you, that road rage, it happens quick out here, man. Quick.
No, they said in that case, they said, well, the two dudes in the car that survived said that like it was like an accident ahead of them, and they swerved to get out of the way of the accident. But the man in the next lane got mad and instantly shot them. Like they said, it wasn't like a build up. It was like instant. Like soon as they swerved, they got shot. Let me play this video.
That was parked outside.
Looking for the robber who pulled a gun on the 13-year-old boy in South St. Louis and stole his father's car.
Robert Townsend went to the Gravois Park area where neighbors are now furious.
It was supposed to be an uneventful moment. St. Louis police say around 8:30 Wednesday night, a dad who lives on Nebraska in Gravois Park asked his 13-year-old son to dash outside to get some belongings from their car. The boy.
There was a story in Philly where a father sent his 12-year-old son out to get some waters out of the car.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah, I
white kid.
remember that. I remember that.
And the son pulled up and killed him, trying
And
to
they never
rob him.
found him, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
You guys
exactly.
in the back.
Furious.
It was supposed to be an uneventful moment. St. Louis police say around 8:30 Wednesday night, a dad who lives on Nebraska in Gravois Park asked his 13-year-old son to dash outside to get some belongings from their car. The boy suddenly came face to face with a man armed with a gun.
I'm stunned. I don't want anything to happen to any kid.
Police say the robber pointed the gun at the 7th grade boy and demanded the dad's black Mazda M3 that was parked outside the family's South City home. The boy complied.
Somebody's child could have been hurt for something stupid as a materialistic car.
An outraged Yvonne Peoples is relieved her young neighbor was not hurt.
He's probably still terrified and he's going to have long-term trauma just because he's not going to probably be even scared to come outside. And kids shouldn't have to feel unsafe.
Investigators say at the time of the cold-hearted crime, the robber wore a ski mask and all black clothing. Police say after the guy pulled the gun on the kid, he came down this alley and then 3 other men hopped in the car. All 4 then took off from this area in the dad's vehicle. This neighborhood is in Alderwoman Alicia Saulnier's 7th ward. She wasn't available to talk on camera, but said the area has seen crime, but is usually quiet. However, some neighbors said gunshots are too frequent and they'd like to see more officers patrolling here.
We all are supposed to be able to walk up and down the street without fear of something happening to us.
That from a concerned mom who wants the robber and his accomplices off the streets.
I'm praying because I don't need them out here.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
I mean, these stories are unacceptable, man. They're fucking heartbreaking. The fact that he didn't die is still, I think it's still horrendous. It's what can you say?
Yeah, that kid's never gonna be the same.
I don't know about that because getting carjacked, like a black kid goes through so much in the course of that's something he'll tell at school and that'd be a cool story. Like that, getting carjacked ain't really the shit you go through as a young black kid, like as far as like from other black people, like getting carjacked and not getting shot and nothing like that, he'll be fine.
They're built for the Savannah.
He gonna go through way more than that in his life. You know what I'm saying? And in his young life too. He might get jumped at school the next day. I'm talking about like beat fuck up.
Yeah.
Like you could get, you know what I'm saying? You could get
he don't even have time to reflect on getting carjacked the day before.
Go to a party and shit. The party gets shot up. He'll be fine. That kid will be fine off of that. You know what I'm saying? Let's see.
New Orleans has gone crazy.
Ring the police. Right now at 11 o'clock, robbed at gunpoint while on tour here in the Bay Area. Members of a British rock band are telling us now the frightening experience, how it unfolded, what happened next, and what has had them especially rattled.
Now, the thieves got away with a lot, but band members still have their instruments. NBC Bay Area's Terry McSweeney has their story.
Get down, Lauren, get down.
Members of the sports team rock band, just in from England hours before, stopped to get a coffee at Starbucks in Vallejo yesterday morning. That's when robbers broke into their Sprinter van. A band member and manager went out to stop them.
At that point, somebody shouts that they're holding something, and then he pulled out a gun and pointed it at Lauren, our tour manager, and was sort of like waving it around at us, like to get back. So we then retreated and like ducked for cover. Ring the police, ring the police. Guys, somebody ring the police.
Band members tell us as bad as the robbery was, things got worse when someone did call Vallejo police and was told to file a report online. It's not the...
Oh, I knew it.
California, man. God damn. That's California for you, the Bay Area. Well, wow. And these people right here, they come from a place where guns are very rare. I know they were, these people were probably traumatized by this. This probably traumatized.
was told to file a report online. It's not the way the situation would have been handled in their hometown of London.
And it just felt like it was really normalized for the whole community there, the people in Starbucks, the police who we spoke to. I think that's kind of what is almost more shocking and shaken us more than the incident itself.
The violence is in contrast with the upbeat and thoughtful image of the band you can see in their music videos. The criminals got away with laptops, clothing, and Nintendo Switches, but the instruments you see in this video were locked away and lived to see another day. I asked the band's lead singer if this incident changed his image of the United States.
You know, I think this is the greatest country on earth, and I think it just needs to prove it on so many levels. You know, it's I understand why guns are a problem here, and I kind of understand the sort of frontier spirit that exists in America, but I do think it's got to be time to make a change.
Shut the fuck up. I guarantee they got pronouns in their
walk down the
bio.
road in San Francisco or Sacramento to see the level of like people struggling. And so, yeah, I think that's really what's been
It's worth pointing out, like that whole frontier spirit bullshit is not something that Suns have. That's what gliders have.
Yes, exactly.
Gliders came with guns to protect ourselves from the Indians so they didn't eat us. Like it was to protect us from Suns and blacks while we were basically creating the country.
We can only keep the republic if the gliders do it. The gliders got to lead the charge. It's like that's the only way it's gonna get done.
Like a sun has a gun for
21-year-old
the same reason like a monkey has one. Like we put it in its hand and then it does what it does.
Right.
I would say a son has a gun for to protect his ego.
Definitely.
But,
Yeah, monkey is just acting on like
so-
blind
yeah,
instinct.
Yeah, a son has a gun to protect his ego and to like ward off like danger, like from
Yeah.
other sunmen. Like a sunman never leaves the house with a gun thinking about shooting a white person.
And to prey on
Yeah.
other people.
I have a gun so my wife and I can shoot.
Yeah, but like these inner city sons, when they leave the house, when they're loading their gun, every bullet got a nigga's name on it. like
that guy wrote on the shells.
Yeah, like, but I'm saying even if they rob a white person, they're not like thinking about killing that white person. They're just thinking about robbing them.
Because
But,
that was
like,
off the cuff.
Right.
Like a white person getting robbed is off the cuff. Like it's an opportunistic thing, right?
Yeah, and even if it's premeditated, it's like you're thinking about just robbing them. It's seen as kind of soft targets. Now,
Yeah.
If a sunman's if he's in the gas station and another sunman comes in, he don't know and locks eyes with him and looks at him funny, that's what the gun's for. Shit like that.
A 21-year-old suspect under arrest accused of an armed robbery spree that targeted victims outside Southern California shopping malls and a casino. That violent suspect targeted drivers in luxury cars, demanding cash and expensive watches, even pistol whipping one of his victims, knocking out her teeth.
Rick Chambers reports. Federal prosecutors claim O'Shea Pollard is responsible for a month-long crime spree.
This gentleman did not hesitate
to result to violence.
A federal complaint alleges the 21-year-old Pollard roamed parking lots at night across LA and Orange County.
He snuck up on people. Either as they were going to their car. The victims in this case had their guard down, and that's when, at least what's alleged, that he went into the attack.
The first was August 25th at the Hustler Casino in Gardena. Police say Pollard knocked a woman to the ground. Then they say the suspect placed the barrel of the pistol into the victim's mouth, breaking her teeth, and told her, "If you yell again, I'll kill you." Pollard allegedly got $1,000. Hours later, police say Pollard and an accomplice beat a cab driver at a Winchell's donut shop and took his wallet and phone. On the 26th, the same two suspects are accused of robbing drivers at the Fashion Island Mall in Newport Beach, getting one man's watch from a Rolls Royce and firing a round into a Ferrari, barely missing the driver. A month later, Pollard visited the South Coast Plaza in Costa Mesa, telling a victim there, "Give me the watch, give me the ring, give me the car," and repeating over and over, "I'm going to shoot you, I'm going to kill you." And then he fired.
Shot him in the left hand, shot him in the left thigh. Amazingly, the victim fought back, and the robber fled.
But cameras captured the getaway car, and Pollard's phone was pinged at the crime scenes. Witnesses remembered a bracelet he was wearing and a flower tattoo on his left hand. And on social media, Pollard was seen wearing that stolen $40,000 watch.
Of course.
He's being held tonight without bail.
The penalties under federal law, particularly since a firearm has been used, and certainly discharge, he's facing a potential life sentence here.
Such a base.
That was Rick Chambers reporting.
A potential life sentence.
What the hell is
Well,
that?
you might have heard.
He'll never get a license for that. Never, ever get a license for that. No way in hell. Anybody want to take the $5 challenge and support the channel, man? And you guys want to help sponsor the show, man?
Y'all been real quiet tonight.
Yeah, man. Let's see. What's going on here, man?
Tonight, just days after family get-togethers, one family in Chattanooga is grieving.
That's after a shooting took a teenager's life. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kim Chapman with you.
And I'm Latricia Thomas. This photo behind us there is Daramon Walden. He was the oldest of 7 children, and according to his mother, he saved her life.
Well, today, News Channel 9's Ray Collado spoke with Walden's mother about what happened that night and how she's trying to cope with the loss of her son in the middle of the holiday season.
It was right here on Green Road where Chattanooga police say a 17-year-old boy was shot and killed while inside his home. Now, according to family and friends, all he ever cared about was helping his mother and 6 younger siblings.
Yeah, I watched my baby take his first and last breath. That's just never gonna sit well with me. Like, never. He did all that to protect me. Like, he loved me so much.
Her firstborn and golden child. According to Rhonda Walden, that's just what kind of kid her son, Daramon Walden, or as she likes to call him, Doopy, was. Always looking out to protect his siblings and mother, regardless of the consequences.
He went through everything with me, struggle, everything. At one point, we were in a bad area for years.
Rhonda says when gunshots rang outside their home, Daramon stepped between her and the bullets.
It is something that no mother should ever have to go through.
Okay, what happened, man?
For
What
real?
the fuck happened? This is a minute 30 into here. We don't know what the fuck happened.
Got fire appeared out of nowhere.
Ever.
Nope. To watch her child hit the ground for protecting her.
Rhonda says she spent her life making sure her oldest son never got into trouble, always making sure he kept his straight A's and stayed busy playing basketball.
That's what hurts me the worst. Like, I done kept him away from it. You know what I'm saying? Just to still lose him from the same thing.
Despite the tragedy, Rhonda says Daramon's presence in the community will leave a lasting effect. Now, according to CPD, this is still an ongoing investigation, and they ask anyone who may know anything to call their homicide tip line. In Hamilton County, Ray Collado, News Channel 9.
She's like a low class dirt dolphin. I'm talking about she's I'm talking about Sonny Stan. I wonder what she got at work.
She invested.
$220. What that mean?
That's what she get.
She's like Rachel Dolezal.
6
She
donations.
was like actually 2% sun.
Yeah.
I thought she had a lot of sun in her.
Yeah, I was waiting on her sisters or whatever to talk. And I'm like, oh no, that's the glider. All right.
These are her sisters? I don't know.
Well,
if these are her
I
sisters.
assumed that was
Way, really?
Are they not? Why are they there?
Probably not probably negligible.
Probably her friends. I
sun.
mean,
Yeah.
these are probably her friends.
So you think she's a Melungeon or something?
Nah, she
Somewhat
look like
of
a
a
light
Melungeon.
skin, bro.
It's a glider.
You think this is a glider?
I thought it was a glider.
No, that's
Yeah,
not
I
a
think
glider.
that's-
Not a glider.
That's a
It's
glider.
not a glider, dude.
That's some sort of melungeonite.
No, the forehead. That's not a glider forehead, bro.
You think that's a glider? She's literally standing next to two gliders.
Yeah.
You think all of her 7 kids had the same father?
Well, that's another question, but no. If you're
Unlikely.
wondering.
And then look at that other picture.
Nah, she's a Melungeon.
Yeah, she's not white. I mean, she has white in her, yeah, but she's not white.
Okay, I thought she was.
Damn, who's that guy?
She's
Staring at
glider.
us.
Well, the man accused of murdering an Oak Park police detective will remain in jail pending trial. He faced a judge today in Maywood where new allegations detailed the moments leading up to that deadly shooting.
And WGN's Courtney Spinelli joins us live from the courthouse with more this afternoon. Courtney?
Ray and Lourdes, good afternoon. Prosecutors argue the evidence against the suspect is overwhelming and that the murder of Detective Alan Reddens was caught on body-worn camera and nearby surveillance video cameras from the library. In the packed courtroom today was Detective Reddens' brothers and sisters in blue mourning his loss, along with his friends and family.
Detective Alan Reddens was working patrol due to staffing shortages.
It was during that shift on November 29th he answered his final call. The 40-year-old detective served on the Oak Park Police Department for more than 5 years.
The offender, Jarrell Thomas, entered a Chase Bank near Harlem and Lake in Oak Park.
That's what prosecutors say started the chain of events. The 37-year-old suspect allegedly stood around for close to 15 minutes before he was approached by the branch manager, who found his behavior suspicious.
The offender can be seen on video taking out a gun from his waistband and walking out.
Reddens and another sergeant responded to the area and found Thomas near the library, according to court documents. Body-worn camera shows the suspect reaching toward the inside of his unzipped jacket, then keeping his hands at his waist as both officers told him to keep his hands up and not reach. It was then he allegedly opened fire.
After the first shot, Detective Alan Reddens.
See, they should have shot him.
Yep.
Should have fucking shot his punk ass.
Toward the inside of his unzipped jacket, then keeping his hands at his waist as both officers told him to keep his hands up and not reach. It was then he allegedly opened fire.
After the first shot, Detective Alan Reddens turned and ran toward a squad car that was stopped in the middle of Lake Street
Prosecutors say Reddens didn't make it to his cruiser before he was hit and collapsed.
and attempted to use his police radio, but was physically unable to do so.
As other officers arrived within seconds and tried to save his life in the middle of the street, another officer shot the suspect in the leg as he still had his gun in his hands, putting an end to the violence.
Shot
The
him in the leg,
suspect, a
dude.
convicted felon with a lengthy history,
Yeah, so BLM should be happy.
Yeah, hold up. He's
including
alive?
aggravated battery of
Yeah,
police
he's alive.
officers, is
Uh-huh.
not allowed to own a gun.
The gun the offender used in this case was reported stolen to Chicago police by the offender's sister.
Prosecutors cited a police report filed by the suspect's sister alleging he stole her .40 caliber loaded handgun from her safe after a fight with his father on November 26th. It was 3 days later Thomas is accused of using that gun to rip away the life of a beloved father, son, and friend whose death leaves a massive hole in the heart of the community.
The offender's gun was recovered.
The suspect emotionless in court, facing a judge as he sat in a wheelchair with a bandage on his head. Judge Elizabeth Chachaleza saying, quote, "It goes without saying that these allegations are the worst of its kind. His murder has forever changed the life of his family, his colleagues, and the community he was sworn to protect."
Some man don't give a shit.
Now, the suspect is expected back in court on December 20th. At the start of court today, the public defender representing Thomas tried to argue that it was oppressive, the amount of officers that were in the courtroom, and violated her client's rights. The judge said
the assault on Bissonnette happened on November 24th at 7:30 p.m. And when the mugshots of the guys who allegedly did it came out, an employee here at the Raven Golf Club recognized them immediately as the same group of men who attacked him that same night just an hour prior. Now, I reached out to Phoenix police. They are aware of the similarities between the two incidents and are investigating. Carter, an employee at the Raven Golf Club, says his jaw still hurts from getting assaulted on the night of November 24th.
He just runs at me, pins me up against the wall, and starts wailing on me.
He shared surveillance video of the attack committed by a man in a green shirt, a man who was drunk and refused to leave at closing time.
Like, I had a good black eye for a week, but my jaw's still sore, and I have like a big bruise on the top of my head, like under my hair.
Carter believes that man to be Danny Bradley, the same man in the same group that attacked former Arizona Coyotes hockey player Paul Bissonnette at Houston's restaurant in Scottsdale just an hour later.
Yeah, 100%.
And why do you say that?
I just recognized him immediately. I saw him a bunch of times that day.
Scottsdale police say it was around 7:30 that same night. Bissonnette saw a group of 6 drunk men harassing the bar staff for not serving them another drink. When he tried to stop the men, the group then became violent with him. He described the experience on his podcast, Spittin' Chicklets.
I grabbed the guy's arm. I said, listen, buddy, if you keep harassing and assaulting the staff here, I said, we're going to go outside and we're going to have some problems.
But unlike Carter, who just had to take it,
I mean, he's half foot taller than me, 150 pounds heavier than me.
Bissonnette, who made a name for himself as Biz Nasty, a fighter on the ice, was able to take them on, fighting back until police showed up and arrested them, the majority visiting from Fort Worth, Texas.
Wow, they're all related.
Hey, it could have been worse. It could have been some people trying to tell them to leave and come back with bullets.
This is pretty benign, you know. It's like a hockey fight. Everyone.
I know. They might. I wonder if they're Italian or something.
They sure look like it. These are like some like shallow end of the gene pool gliders. I think.
I know. I just started rewatching Sopranos too.
Yeah, these are
Tony looking gliders for sure.
You can see in these mugshots, it appears Biz Nasty got in some hits, and he was enraged when he heard they had gone after Carter too.
Maybe I should have just sat down and waited for my traditional salad from Houston's and minded my own business. But what if that Danny Bradley cocks his right and ends up feeding one of those managers at Houston that same right hook that he did at the golf club? What if one of those guys drop and next thing you know, they got a conky, or even worse, they hit their head and they're on a breathing tube?
Carter says he reported the assault to Phoenix police, who say they are investigating the 2 cases independently and have not confirmed the suspects are the same in both incidents. Meanwhile, there's no guarantee the Texas men charged with misdemeanors and one with a felony will return to Arizona for their court date. They were released with no bail.
I just think that they should be punished for what they did. Like, people can't just go around beating people up and getting away with it.
It's got to feel kind of good to know that he met his match later on that night in a hockey player, right?
Yeah, it's definitely nice that they went and hit the wrong person later that night.
Both Carter and Bissonnette don't understand why these men were released without bail. They're all from Texas. Now, one of them, Sean Daly, did appear.
Well, because that's what happens to black guys, so it happens to white guys too, man. Oh, wow, they beat up some more people.
2 separate assault investigations in the Valley. Scottsdale police telling ABC 15 they're working with Phoenix to determine if the same suspects are involved in both.
Kind of tapping shoulders. Hey, guys, closing, trying to get out of here, want to go home. Every way you could say it's time to go. And, you know.
The same story. Let's see. So anybody got any final thoughts, man?
Hey man, shout out to you. Another great show.
Salute to Oakview, man. Gifted 5 memberships, man. Shout out to you, Oakview. Shout out to DH, man. DH in the building, coming through, supporting the channel, man. Shout out to you guys. Also salute to Rudy, the vet Russo, coming through once again, man. Shout out to you guys supporting the channel, man. Appreciate you guys. Any final thoughts?
Free Daniel Penny. That's a final thought.
Yeah, definitely free Daniel Penny.
Free the knee.
Free Daniel Penny.
Yo, Ak, I wanted to say,
No justice, no peace.
I wanted
Knee
to say,
lives matter.
as far as like that, that lineup of gliders, right? Usually when we see gliders and those kind of like news lineups, it's either like a sex thing, like a prostitution thing, right? But when it's
Yeah.
brothers in that kind of lineup, the crime is
Terrorism.
just so much more violent.
Yeah,
You know, like they run around
terrorism.
and like putting guns in people's faces, you know, beating them with guns, shooting them. You know what I mean? Murdering
That
them.
hockey player, the NHL would have had a moment of silence before all the games that day. Everybody would have been wearing a black patch on their uniform if them was black.
Right.
Ran into that hockey player, man.
But what I'm saying is like when we see like brothers in that like those photo lineups, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like just so much more violent.
Yeah, we do it. It's like Burger King. We do it our way, man. Shout out to Kimberly Ashcraft, man. Same black time, same black channel. Out of here. Peace up.